Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How was your weekend? How did your teams play out? I think everybody already knows that my weekend didn't go well, thanks to the Sooners that decided not to show up and play. A coach that was either hung over or thought he was coaching a middle school team, I don't know, was not a happy camper. I was not. This is what happens when I put on all my gear and get ready for my team. So I'm a long time Chiefs fan. Really never thought they would go back to a Super Bowl. I never really expected it to happen in my lifetime. I really didn't. Lo and behold, we go to a Super Bowl. That first Super Bowl a couple of years ago, I didn't get to watch. I cannot remember what happened. Some sort of act of God kept me from not watching that game. They won. Next year, I'm like, I'll be damn. I'm not missing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They lost. So anyhow, I'm at least going to just put all my gear away. Maybe just wear it when I go grocery shopping or something. Do I not have sound again? Do I have sound? Wolfcat, your Tennessee's doing good. I just did a mic check. This is getting too stressful. Okay, Wolverine said good. Thank goodness, because I did a mic check. It's got to be something with StreamYard. It's just got to be. Because I've done tests on just using my phone, which I can't do the show with my phone. Then I've got this laptop that is slow as molasses. Forget it. Forget it. So let's see who's in here. I already said hi to Where's Summer. I was chatting with her in Justin's chat last night for a minute. Got an email from ICU this morning too. Where's Summer said she was behind. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Hello, Art is here. Biddy Bites is here. Vicky's here. Foxtrot, Casey K. ICI Dive. Is everybody subbed? This is a new thing I did not realize. YouTube said that most of the people, not most, but a lot of the people that comment on your community tab and watch your show don't realize that they're not even subbed. It's just suggested. I can't imagine YouTube doing anything right and suggesting the show. That stuff doesn't really work in my favor. So let's take a minute. Shut up, Jules. Jules just said Clemson moved to 4th. I don't want to hear from you, Jules. Let's take a minute and make sure we're subbed. Denise said she subbed. Don't unsub. Let's sub up. I see a lot of new names in here, a lot of new names. We started talking about Quinton, well, in the Facebook group, the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Little Quinton had been missing basically when it hit. PJ's Not So Secret Diary. I didn't get my notifications. Yeah. They pay these people at YouTube way too much, and they've got one job. Some of them have one job, but that's okay. That's okay. We figure it out one way or another. I try to post the shows early enough that if you think about it and you come across the channel, you'll see what's upcoming. Like tomorrow we have 2 shows. It looks like Wednesday is going to be a 2-show day. The way things are drumming out, we could have a 5-show day on Thursday. I don't know. Arkansas White Dove, been subscribed since Summer Wells. God bless you. God bless you. So where was I except for complaining about YouTube? That's a show in its own. Oh, okay. So anyway, the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. Also, our friend Jeannie, she has put together a separate group just for Quinton because there's so much going on. So it's kind of everywhere. It's in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. And we have a subgroup. We also have a room in Discord. Anybody that wants to come and hang out in Discord, send me an email. I'll get you a link as long as I recognize you. If I have no idea who you are, you got to come in here so we can get to know each other, or at least let me see some after show comments. Had the show on Friday for our little Quinton. A former babysitter came up. Jaden, he has been invited to come up again today. He said he would. So when he comes in, anyone that wants to come up, the link is pinned. I got Jules backstage. I'm sure she's going to rub it in my face about Clemson. That's okay. I know how to kick her off the panel. Also, I posted over the weekend the Facebook Live that Diana did, the babysitter. Things are very, very heated. She was accused by the grandma of being part of Quinton's disappearance. We're going to hear about that again. I also invited Diana to come up. She's more than welcome to. If Billy wants to come up, Billy can. I haven't talked to Billy. I have not talked to Leilani. They are more than welcome to grab the link. So we will see who shows up. But in the meantime, we know we are all here. Best chat on YouTube. You guys rock. You do. I see some other chats. I'm scared to say a word. They scare the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Boo Sheet said, I haven't been able to figure out if mom had a vehicle after boyfriend left for work. We do not know. There is a lot going on, and I don't believe it's just as simple as an argument over water park tickets, or I don't even know, and Diana couldn't tell you, who actually sent her that text. We've had many of these conversations, in the Debbie Collier case. We've had many of these conversations in the Kylie Rodney case. Diana doesn't know who was holding that phone. So was it Danny telling her she was not needed that day? Or was it Leilani? We do not know. We do not know. After I posted the live that Diana did, had a ton of comments from you guys, a ton. I was going through them as fast as I could because believe it or not, I do see all your comments. Now, sometimes you may not hear from me for 3 months because you post on old shows. And I'm like, oh, damn, how'd I miss that? But I do. I acknowledge it one way or another. Emails, I answer them all. Unless I get 5 in a row that are the same thing. But you can understand that, right? Where's Summer 800 TB? I find I can feel her blood pressure from here. She was wound up on Friday. She was wound up in Justin's chat last night. She could spit nails. She's so mad about this case. Where Summer said, I still say something happened in the night hours and not that morning. I'm going to agree with you, my friend. I'm going to agree with you. This is just my opinion. This is just my speculation. I believe when Diana, the babysitter, received the text on that morning, I think it was like 5:39 a.m. I believe something had already happened. I really do. These are not responsible people. If they had other plans with the kids, they would not care to make sure Diana was aware that they didn't need her. They're not like that. They're not considerate of other people's time. Denise said 5:29. Okay, I've heard 5:29. I've heard 5:30. I've heard 5:39. That's a very important thing, though. That's a very important thing that we have. These times are really important. A lot of people were talking about Leilani. We don't know where Danny was. Also, there was a brother at home. The police have had, the police spoke with him as well. Anyhow, Leilani, however, is the one that has offered up the explanations. She told her parents that Quinton's biological father had him. We know that is not true. We don't even know that Leilani is 100% certain who Quinton's father is. We do not know. Thank you, Stacey Ray. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. We do not know. So why would the father pick him up in the due hours of the morning? Why? That would not happen. We know that didn't happen. We also have speculation that he got out and got into the swimming pool. That is very retro Casey Anthony, is it not? Of course, that's just speculation. And that Leilani decided to cover it up. It's also said that Leilani said that when she woke up, the door was open. Okay, some neighbors have said they have seen little Quinton out on his own, but I believe it was Grandpa that said Quinton can't open doors. Quinton cannot open doors. Please do not forget that the former babysitter did reveal on this show that it was a common practice to give the children adult NyQuil to put them to sleep. Do not forget that. Overnight, it came out that there is now a specified tip line. I have it scrolling at the bottom. As of our show on Friday, the police were just saying, if you see anything, call 911. Well, now we have an entire tip line. We know what that means, my friends. We know what that means. It is a detective dedicated he or she is only focused on the disappearance of little Quinton. Let's see what our friend Jules has to say. She's backstage. We're going to get up to date, go through the timeline, talk about what Diana happened to her over the weekend, the confusion with these water park tickets. Could be something, could be nothing. I have a feeling it's a big fat nothing sandwich because I don't believe that Diana has anything to do with this. Diana was told, we don't need your help searching. I think Diana was a red herring. They were making it appear that they were trying to set her up for something, possibly. We're going to go through it all. Let's see what Jules is doing. Jules, how are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How's everybody else?
Oh, wired for sound, my friend. Wired for sound. So what are you making of the revelations that came out over the weekend?
It's a lot. I don't think the babysitter had anything to do with it.
No. I don't see it. This woman was trying to do a prayer circle at her house. I get Billy. Okay, Billy's the grandma. We're going to have to learn some names. I'm not ready for nicknames yet because I don't know which way I'm leaning yet. Billy's the grandma. Billy got very offended by this. Diana tried to explain, I'm not having a vigil. I'm not having a memorial, implicating that he's dead. It's a prayer circle.
Right. I want to know who picked up, or I don't know, you just said something that kind of blew my mind, or somebody did in chat about the NyQuil.
Mm-hmm. Now, that was from the show on Friday. The former babysitter, Jaden, I sent him the link. I emailed the link, so I don't know what he's got going on this morning. He told us that it was a common practice to give the children NyQuil. Now, this is before CPS got involved in custody of the two boys. Zane and Quinton went to Billy. And he no longer babysat for her for a multitude of reasons. That is definitely one.
Why was she even there? The mom even why was Leilani at Billy's to begin with? She should have never been there.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's do the comments from what I posted over the weekend, because that's one of the comments. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone, my friend. You're a genius.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, hold on. I'm pulling them up. All right, Terry, 5 hours ago said the grandma had custody of the two kids. Remember, Leilani has a third child. Her and Danny had a child together over the summer, June or July. So there's a tiny baby too. You got a tiny baby? Well, they're all tiny to me. So, but grandma has custody of the two older boys, Quinton and Zane. All right, Terry's comment. Grandma had custody of the two older kids. As of today, she still does. So why was she out of town working and left daughter with the kids? Babysitter needs to step back and let this play out. Okay, a lot of people did say, Diana, protect yourself. It's going to get crazy, girl. It's going to get crazy. All right, Diana is fully aware of that, by the way. So if she wants to come up and tell us about that, she can. Damn, this is so common. This is so common. Mom and dad get sideways, or mom and boyfriend get sideways, dad and girlfriend get sideways. So the appropriate thing to do, because we want to keep the kids as safe and as happy as possible, we don't want to uproot them. You know, the system is all about keeping the families together, all right?
Correct.
So grandma and grandpa, or just grandma, whatever, gets the children. I have several friends that are raising their grandchildren.
I do too.
Several. So grandma says, look, I have to leave for the weekend. I know I have custody, but you got to watch the kids. Even though they know that Child Protective Services, Department of Human Services, Department of Family and Children, whatever your initials are in your state, have said no. There might even be an order saying your child cannot be around your grandchild unsupervised. They're going to take care of it between their four walls. This is so common. This is so common. So grandma says, I've got to go to the grocery store. I've got to go to the doctor. I've got to take your Aunt Beverly to get her toes done. I've got all this shit going on. So you're going to come watch your kids. And this is, bad things happen. There's a reason people lose custody. It's almost impossible to do these days.
And the mama just appears to, let's see, enable by letting her come over there to see them.
I don't think that's the case, my friend.
You don't?
Understanding there's a bunch of people live there. It makes you wonder why you would even hire a babysitter. You've got Leilani there. So the babysitter obviously is to make sure Leilani is minding her P's and Q's. You've got Danny there. Danny never had custody anyway. Danny's not a custodial parent. Leilani lost custody of Zane and Quinton. Billy got custody, the grandma. That's Leilani's mother, Quinton's grandmother. So you have Danny there. That's Leilani's boyfriend, the baby's father. There's several people that live in that house. It was reported on the news over the weekend. So
8 people.
Yeah. There's like 5 adults in that house. So on top of all of that, she hires a babysitter. Billy does. I mean, so how somebody in that house knows what happened.
Exactly.
Somebody in that house knows what happened. Oh, man. Karen said, who the hell cares about water park tickets? There's a baby missing. Why would a grandmother not have her babies by her side? Clearly, the parents are not fit. Well, that's a lot of it. A lot of people are really upset that all of this finger pointing and blame game is going towards Diana when Leilani lost custody of the children and shouldn't have been unsupervised around the children. But now remember, there's other adults in the house. Something has happened in that house. I don't know who all was present. Like, where's Zane? Where's the older brother? He's old enough to talk. I mean, I have a feeling if he was there, I don't know. I have a feeling that there will be a forensic child psychologist sitting down with little Zane. Even if, I mean, they really have a way of getting information out of children. There is a brother there. I understand that the police have talked to him. Somebody's got to know what happened to little Quinton. Because it's not as simple as Leilani waking up and seeing a door open. I don't think Leilani would pay attention to a door being open.
No. No. He didn't just crawl out of his playpen and take off.
Nope.
He would have been found by now. A 20-month-old with probably no shoes on doesn't get very far.
Nope, they don't. And they certainly don't search landfills. 20-month-olds don't hightail it to the landfill.
That's right.
Okay?
No, they don't.
Yep. In every case we talk about, every case, people always say, have they checked the landfills? I don't know. I don't know if they do. I don't know. I know in some cases we've seen, if you follow a case to the end, they show different targeted searches they have. One is a landfill. Now, the detectives in that county know when garbage day is. This case, they were very significant about talking about it. The trash was picked up at 7 o'clock that morning. She or someone in the home sent a text to Diana saying, we don't need you today. Diana said it was weird because even if, you know, she babysits every day. So then they're searching the landfill. Now, people go missing. Children go missing. This is the first time I've seen the FBI out in the landfill, though. Angel P, hang on. What's going on, Angel P?
Hello, Brooks. Hello, Jules. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Angel, what a treat. You're up early.
I am up early. I want everybody to remember, because this is October, that this is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And obviously, this case has all kinds of domestic violence involved. That's just a point that I wanted to bring up. I mean, I'm not saying anybody didn't know this, but, you know, not just the NyQuil. There's all kinds of forms of abuse, as you guys know. And this poor baby was being raised in a very turbulent, chaotic household.
Oh, boy.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. And it really upsets me as a grandma myself, which I say me, because obviously that sounds younger. If you get your grandkids, custody of your grandkids, because the mom is not, is neglecting, possibly, in my opinion, I'm just going to say allegedly, and abusing the child, why in God's name would you let them move back into your house, number one? And then why would you leave them there unsupervised?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
That's the $1 million question. And that's, well, it's not the $1 million question is where's Quinton? And when they do find him, which I believe they will, of course, the question's going to be, how could you? Why did you? What the hell? So, yeah, that's a big question weighing on people's minds. Now, Billy is not going to answer that question. She's not going to make any excuses for herself. She will not address it. Trust me, people are blowing up her Facebook page. This is basically all she has had to say, except for her confrontation with Diana. And I'm not making Billy out to be the bad guy, guys. Billy was in Illinois. I don't think it ever rang a bell with Billy that her daughter or the daughter's boyfriend or anyone in the household would let anything happen to Quinton. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying I don't believe she's responsible, hands-on, directly with Quinton's disappearance. Part of what went on in his little life, yes, absolutely she is. Billy says, anyone that is spending their time bashing my family in these times, please don't hesitate to remove yourself from my Facebook. Well, they didn't get the memo because they're still on there. I'm not encouraging anyone to troll Billy. I'm just telling you what's going on. Everyone is already torn and broken. Outsiders that are okay with beating people down aren't my kind of people. I get it, Billy. I get it. But I can tell you who aren't my kind of people. If an accident happened at your home, whatever that accident might be, you get medical attention for that child because accidents do happen. Kids get into things. However, if this is some sort of too much NyQuil, he got into some drugs, or God forbid, it is a direct result of, well, I don't even want to say the word, you know where I'm going. You aren't my kind of damn people. You aren't my kind of people.
Mine either.
Nope.
Don't threaten me with a good time. You aren't my kind of people. Absolutely crazy. Don't sit with me. Okay, another comment we had. Othel said the grandmother will be in trouble as well. That might be another reason that Billy, besides the fact that her grandson is missing, which I think she truly is upset about. I really do. I get it. I get the vibe that Billy is very concerned about her grandson being missing. I do. I also think that the accusations to Diana, the scuffle over the water park tickets, this Facebook thing I just put up about people bashing her family, and I guess I'm in good company. There's almost 500 of you in here now. She's saying we aren't her type of people. Look, I'm not down with all this. I'm not. But I think a lot of the anger also is she could be in trouble. She could get in trouble. I don't know how it goes in Savannah, Georgia. If you are a local, please tell me. I love when locals come into the chat, when they grab the link. Let us know what's going on. I can look up laws all day. I know how to use Google. I don't know how it goes in your town. So could she be in trouble? Will they get her with child endangerment because she's the custodial guardian? I don't know if she had temporary custody or she was deemed the legal guardian. That I do not know. But I know that a friend of mine, she is the temporary guardian of her grandsons. She was told hands down, do not let your child and your child's significant other, don't play the I just needed a babysitter game. you could be in big trouble. She was warned. And she wasn't going to do it anyway. I have a feeling that same conversation was had with Billy. So do you think Billy is this angry and taking it out on Diana because she could possibly be in trouble?
Yep.
He's flat out accusing her. I'm not going to, there's no other way to spin it. She's accusing her of selling Quinton.
What?
She ought to be in trouble for that.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Yeah, she straight up accused her.
She did. We weren't there for the argument. It's not on tape. Hang on, I missed something. Amanda Curry says, I can tell you from here in the South, she won't get in trouble. It's sad, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. Really, Amanda, even with the gravity of Quinton being missing? Now, if CPS came to the house to just do one of their visits and saw that Leilani was watching the kids, I could see Billy not getting in trouble for that because nothing had happened. But with Quinton being missing, I really thought, I'm not saying I want Billy in trouble. I'm not saying that. Well, that doesn't teach anybody anything, does it? That doesn't teach anybody anything.
No. Nobody learns a lesson from it.
No way. And, you know, I don't know if this is the first time she's left him alone with the baby or not. Does anybody know that?
She has before.
Mm-hmm.
It was only supposed to be overnight. The times that she's kept him, but there have also been neighbors. The babysitter stated that the neighbors have seen the children walking the roads.
Yeah.
But Grandpa said he can't open doors. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have little ones around here. It's very common for me to leave my screen door just shut. I don't like to run the air conditioner. Okay. Call me Candace Wells. I don't like the air conditioner. So, is that it? Like he opens the screen door? Is that, there could be open doors. I don't know how they are with security in their home. Grandpa says he can't open a door.
I have a 15-month-old grandson and he can't reach the doorknob.
See, so Quinton's 20 months old, and also he has to turn it and pull it.
Correct.
Leilani said the door was open. Leilani also said he was with his biological father. Now, we had the previous babysitter on here on Friday that said Leilani is not 100% sure who the father is. And when Billy sued Leilani for child support, because she does have custody of those two boys, Billy was awarded child support and a paternity action was put into place to find out who the father is, because he needs to be paying Billy too.
Correct.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Leilani's got to be coming up with some names.
And actually, Leilani has 3 babies with 3 baby daddies. So Billy could be really racking up on some child support.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering too. If the father of Zane, if he got served a child support order, that's still in the works. That just came out last month. September was a wild month in their home because Billy herself wrote out the eviction notice, wanting them all gone. People say, how can she do that? She has custody. Well, she can't. She can't kick out Zane and Quinton. You can just tell she is pissed. Here it is. It's not the last time you're going to see it. This is her handwritten statement. Not looking to be compensated. Just want them to move out as quick as possible. Leilani Simon is my daughter, 22 years old with her boyfriend and 3 kids. They have damaged my property, and at this point, no one is living in peace. She wanted them all out of there. Not looking to be compensated. She said it again. How much past rent are you seeking? Not looking to be compensated. I want them to move out as quick as possible. She does not deviate. She does not say, I want Leilani and Danny the hell out of my house. I'm keeping the kids. I have custody of Zane and Quinton. I'm going to get custody of Sky. She doesn't say that. I want them out. Nobody is living in peace. That's her handwriting. People are like, you're making that up. No, I'm not. She wrote it. I didn't write this.
Yep, it says my daughter, 22 years old, with her boyfriend and 3 kids. 3 kids.
So that's counting Quinton.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
he has 3 children. Zane,
Yeah.
Quinton, and Sky was born over the summer.
Hmm.
Do you want the name of Quentin's daddy?
Which one? I've been given several names.
I see yous in chat, and she says Bubba Moss.
That's what Jaden was saying too on Friday when Jaden was on here. He said it's Bubba, but then he said Leilani said it's not. And so there's another person on Facebook. He sent me all the pictures. A guy she was with who has another child that's a spitting image of Quinton. Looks exactly like Quinton, but it's not Quinton because it's a different age. I don't know. There's no court document saying who the daddy is yet. So I don't know. I don't know if it's Bubba or this other guy or this. I don't know.
Well, apparently neither one of them care. About their babies.
Well, is Bubba paying child support to Billy? That's the only way we're going to know.
When was that written, Brooks?
What, the child support order?
That thing about, getting out of my house.
That was in September.
Yeah. And that can be a long, drawn out process once you let somebody take up residence in your home. Legally speaking.
Hold on. Yeah, it could take 6 months.
Yep.
Bubba's name in chat. Hold on. Bubba wishes Quinton a happy birthday. Well, maybe Bubba is. Is Bubba's. I don't know. I don't know. I just heard that there was a paternity order to find out. I read it. There's also an older brother of Leilani's. He has been in jail for murdering Billy Joe's boyfriend. She named Quinton after him.
That's just strange in itself to me.
I can only assume that little Quinton that's missing is named after her brother Quinton.
Right.
I mean, nobody told me. I'm just taking a big guess here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't name my child after a killer. Or
that's right. I wouldn't either.
Maybe the elder Quinton and Leilani have alike minds or something.
The whole thing is insane. I've said, yep, he is. He is named after him.
Was Grandma gone to work, or was she like taking a little vacation, or what? Why were they gone?
She was in Illinois working.
Okay.
She'd been gone for a while too.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but if that was written in September, and then you have to go off to work and you don't make arrangements, then sometimes that could be like, I'm just leaving you all here, and you just, whatever happens, happens. I mean, I don't know that she said that or thought that, but, sometimes you get overwhelmed and you're just like, okay, I'm going, even though I want a break. I want to get away from all this. I've got to go to work anyway. I don't know. It seems odd that she would have custody of the kids.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Want them out and then, leave him there.
I don't get it either. You cannot evict your children. It doesn't work that way. So I'm thinking there must have been some heated argument at the house because she wrote it all out. She wrote it all out. She got child support, so she must have custody of them. So let's get this straight. Let's get this.
Liza Rose says at Brooks, once people take legal custody of children, they cannot kick the minor to the curb.
Oh, we are all on the same page. This is not an argument here. That's why I said when she wrote this statement out, I think she was just mad. She knows she can't evict Zane.
The children, the two boys.
It says not looking to be compensated, just want them to move out as quick as possible. Leilani Simon is my daughter, 22 years old, with her boyfriend and 3 kids. She doesn't say, I want Leilani and Danny gone. She wants all of them out. And the news came out with it over the weekend too. They have verified this. They're the ones that put the handwriting up. It's circulating everywhere. No, of course you can't. Of course you can't. And I don't see that there's any argument over as to who had custody, because here is the child support order. Georgia Department of Human Services and Quinton Simon, Zane Wharton versus Leilani Simon. There's a child support order against her. Billy was supposed to be receiving child support, so she obviously had custody. She does not have custody of the baby girl. Nope. But the 2 older boys, that's really what we're focused on right now.
3 weeks. Grandma's was out of town for 3 weeks. Working.
Okay. All right. So let me have another comment I was going to read. All right, here we go. I had several of these comments, and I'm just letting you know I'm acknowledging it. Several of you reached out to me and said, never take care of other people's children. Never. Several of you said, no. She said, I never let my children babysit. I will not babysit for other people. People will use you for a scapegoat when they or their boyfriends hurt their children. Like something goes down, they blame the babysitter. And that's what's happening to Diana. They're throwing all of this at Diana. Wise Willow said, so did Leilani use Danny's phone at 5:35 a.m. to text and to say to babysitter Diana she wasn't needed? Because it seems awfully strange that Danny would message again at 9 o'clock asking if she had seen Quinton. Think about that. We don't, and Diana knows this. The police have to verify it. I don't know how they're going to. We don't know who actually sent the text. It's kind of like Venmo Part 2 from the Debbie Collier case that we're covering. We don't know. We don't know. We know what phone it came from. We don't know who did. Because like they said, and Diana speaks pretty highly of Danny, if you really want to know the truth. She said she has no problem with Danny. She doesn't see that Danny, she doesn't say anything bad about Danny. Let's put it that way. So we don't know who actually called Diana off. We don't know. We know there's several people in the house and Quinton's missing. Because like she's saying, wouldn't that be odd for Danny to say, we don't need you to babysit today? And then at 9 o'clock, the person that he says don't come around says, have you seen him? But also Danny was there when he said, we don't want anyone to help us look for Quinton. A lot of weird stuff.
Okay, I'm confused a little bit.
About what?
I heard that the 5:29 text was from either the boyfriend or the mom. And then I read that the 9 o'clock text was from the grandmother.
To Diana?
Yes. Ask him, was he there yet?
Let me look through my notes because it changes. I'm not saying that Diana's story changes. What I'm talking about is the text that came that morning telling Diana not to show up.
Right.
It came from Danny's phone. We don't know if Danny really sent it. Or it did come from Danny saying we don't need a babysitter. And then Leilani used her phone at 9. I don't know. The police are going to have to work that out.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to play a clip, which is the latest update. This came out a couple of hours ago. Then we're going to go through Diana's statement. She has been invited to come on panel. We'd be glad to have her. I totally understand if she doesn't want to. It's probably not in her best interest, as she is a very, very, very important witness in this case. Can we all agree on that?
Yes, she
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Jessamine said, make it make sense. I can't, girlfriend. I can't.
The search for a missing toddler in Savannah is making national headlines. 20-month-old Quinton Simon has been missing since early Wednesday morning. Chatham County Police say the family last saw him inside a playpen inside their home. We want to get out now to Nakaya Guerrero, who is live from the Chatham County Police headquarters.
Hey, Nakaya, the search for little Quinton now entering day 6. Tell us what you've learned from police.
Frank, Olivia, police officers are working around the clock to bring Quinton Simon home, and now they're asking the public for help. Chatham County Police Department has set up a tip line that goes directly to the detective on this case. Go ahead and write this number down, 912-667-3134. We'll also have that number for you on our website, wjcl.com. Again, it's 912-667-3134. For 5 days straight now, local police and federal officers have been working around the clock to bring Quinton home. We just learned they will now revisit areas they've already searched, like his neighborhood off Buckhalter Road and a nearby pond.
I am frustrated. I'm frustrated because we don't know what happened to Quinton. And think how many people love him. You know, think how many people are affected by that. Not only his close family, the neighbors, staff, anyone and everyone that cares about people, that cares about little children.
That was Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley. We also spoke with Quinton's babysitter, who told WJCL 22 News she's praying for the boy's safe return.
It's been horrible. I keep picturing his face. I can't sleep at night because I see his face smiling at me the last day I seen him.
Again, here's another look at Quinton Simon. He was last seen at home off Buckhalter Road. If you have any information for investigators, call that tip line. You can find it again on wjcl.com. Frank, Olivia, we will continue to follow this story.
All right, our Nakaya Guerrero live from Chatham County this morning. Thanks, Nakaya. Appreciate it.
We have a very different police chief than what we heard from last week. Last week, he was kind of cool, calm, and reserved. I'm not going to be in my investigators' faces every 2 seconds asking them what's going on. The family are victims too. We don't have any evidence of foul play at this time, he said. I did the show that said no foul play my ass. No foul play my ass. Are you kidding me? Of course, he can't come out and say no foul play my ass. I know exactly where this is going. He's getting real put out now. He said, of course it's frustrating. Well, we can't be frustrated with Quinton. Even if Quinton did somehow at 20 months old figure out how to get a steppy stool, put it to the doorknob, turn it, and walk out and go wherever. Get the FBI to shut down the whole landfill. We still can't be frustrated with Quinton. Somebody in that house knows way more than what they're saying. Well, Stacy, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. Make sure you check the members tab, Stacy, on the channel. All kinds of stuff on there. And look for the notifications for when we do our members only lives. Frisco Chick, yes, the family does have an in-ground pool. They do. They do have an in-ground pool. I edited out the picture because the kids don't have any drawers on, but it's a big pool. My understanding is the pool is still open. So he could, if the door was open, the thing is, they would see Quinton in the pool and they would call for help, wouldn't you think?
That really bothers me about that swimming pool still being open. Because I really don't think that kid could walk off very far, and I think they would have found him by now. I'm afraid that, now that we know that the NyQuil is used all the time, I'm just thinking that maybe something happened with that or something like that, and she was asleep. The mom was asleep, and maybe Danny was trying to cover for her. I don't know.
Somebody's covering for someone in the house. Grammy H, can you see my comment? Yes. And someone said they trust ICU 100%. What did ICU say? Because I trust ICU too. ICU's my friend. There was nothing there until after I talked to her. I honestly believe her. I don't know what ICU's talking about, but I believe her. Okay. So we have a very different chief. He was, he said, I hope he's still alive. That's what he said in the last one. He wasn't aware in the press conference he gave about the time lag between telling the babysitter, Diana, that she was not needed up until when the authorities were called. This is, I'm with you, Roxy. This is gut-wrenching. We also, in the last show, we heard who we believe is Billy and Leilani fighting in the backyard. We hear a male's voice telling them, shut it up. I mean, it was on the news. ICU, grab the link. I want to see what ICU's talking about. Okay, while ICU's getting situated, let's look at, of course, on that clip, they also mentioned that there's a designated tip line. I have a feeling that tip line is getting a lot of calls. A lot of calls. April, it was on my last show. A lot of calls because just from who I've been talking to the last few days, I can't keep up. This clip alone tells us a lot. It tells us a lot. I know Angel brought up domestic violence and stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of things have been heating up in the house. I brought up the eviction, which can really only be served to Leilani and Danny and the baby. I mean, they're not kicking, but they can take the baby. But we saw it written out. We have the child support order that Leilani has been ordered to pay child support on Quinton and Zane because Leilani does not have custody. Billy does. Billy goes out of town to work in Illinois. She employs Diana to watch after the kids. Diana, on this morning, October 5th, is told, we don't need you today. And the search ensues. So let's look at this here. This is a really good timeline, the way this is put together.
Toddler Quinton Simon was last seen on Wednesday morning. Law enforcement officers have scoured the area around his home with dogs, drones, by land, by air. WSAB's lead investigative reporter, Brett Buffington, has been following the story from day one. Tonight, he breaks down the timeline of the case.
At just 20 months old, Quinton Simon hasn't been seen for 60 hours. In those moments, we have told you a lot about the search to find him. But to tell you about the environment he was living in, we have to back up weeks. September 7th, police were called to Quinton's grandparents' home, where Quinton, his mother, her boyfriend, 2 other children, and the grandparents live. There was a fight, this police report says, between Quinton's mom, Leilani Simon, and her mother, Billy Joe Howell. Leilani called the cops on her mom. When officers showed up, she told them she was on probation and didn't want trouble. We don't know what that probation is for. The report says when police officers talked with Leilani's brother, he told them that Quinton's mom had a history of stealing and used the money to buy drugs. A day later, September 8th, Billy Joe Howell wanted her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend out. She filed for eviction. According to the document, she didn't want any money. She just wanted her 22-year-old daughter, Leilani, her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, and the 3 kids to leave quickly. Here's where the grandmother wrote it. They damaged her property, and no one is living in peace. September 16th, Leilani and Daniel.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. I may have to rewind it a little bit so everybody understands, because they keep coming after me going, I guess they're thinking that I'm not, I understand. I understand she can't evict Zane and Quinton. I don't know why she wrote that out. The news reported it. They put the handwriting up. I showed it to you guys. I'm just thinking that the tensions in the house were as such that she was that pissed. Billy was. My property is damaged. The whole 9 yards. It's been said she had a lot of stuff missing. One of the arguments was to go get her stuff. She wanted her stuff. Whatever was missing, she wanted back in that house in its place at one point. We lost Jules for a second.
And used the money to buy drugs. A day later, September 8th, Billy Joe Howell wanted her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend out. She filed for eviction. According to the document, she didn't want any money. She just wanted her 22-year-old daughter, Leilani, her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, and the 3 kids to leave quickly. Here's where the grandmother wrote it. They damaged her property, and no one is living in peace. September 16th, Leilani and Daniel found out about the eviction, but we now know as recently as last Wednesday, the 2 were still living here. That gets us to Wednesday, the morning little Quinton was last seen. At 5:29 a.m., babysitter Diana McCarta got a text message. She told us it was from Quinton's mom, saying Diana didn't have to watch the kids today. Police told us the boyfriend, who we now know is Daniel Youngkin, police say that's the last time Quinton was seen. 9 a.m., another text message to babysitter Diana, this time from a grandparent, asking if Diana had seen the toddler. The 911 call, 42 minutes later at 9:42 a.m. The WSAV
Okay, I'm so glad I slowed that down. So I don't know where the 9 a.m. text came from. Obviously, it's a new case and there's all kinds of information and stuff spinning around. That a text was sent from Danny at 9 a.m. Kind of seems to me that someone in the house told Billy, we can't find Quinton. Billy gets a hold of Diana, is what it looks like to me, for Diana to say, I'm not babysitting today. I'm not there. They're not with me. But still, why another 42 minutes to call 911? What do you think about that, Angel?
I don't know what to think about that, because it sounds like, everything was building up to a head there, so to speak. And I have a feeling that the domestic violence and the physical hands-on, I'm suspecting there was a lot of that going on between mom and Leilani. And then I'm also thinking maybe that, the mom grew up in that environment also, because that kind of thing is passed on through generation after generation unless you break the chain. Obviously, the chain has not been broken. I think that maybe the delay was because after maybe she called somebody and they started looking, or she called to Danny. That doesn't make any sense to me why somebody would wait 42 minutes or so to look for a little child that young. I don't understand what happened in that time frame.
I don't either. Unsocial Social Butterfly, which is such a cool YouTube name, says, I read grandma has custody but left baby with mom. Is this true? Yes, it is. Now, Denise, I don't know who Denise is talking about. Denise says it doesn't mean she had custody. She did. She won child support. Billy was supposed to be receiving child support from Leilani.
I'm not trying to be ugly here either or judgmental, but like if you were the grandmother and you knew all of this stuff was going on and you'd filed that wanting the eviction and you knew all this stuff was going on, the stealing, destruction of property, I just don't understand why she would leave the baby there with them. And I don't understand how Danny and Quinton's mom have the authority to tell Diana, just don't come today.
Mm-hmm. Denise, I already put the document on the screen. No, I don't get it either. Maybe Billy thought her safety net was hiring the babysitter. I understand Diana had been babysitting, though, for them before Billy left for Illinois, and maybe told her keep an extra eye out. I don't know, because this wasn't like she just went to get the groceries, for the week or something and was only gone for a couple hours. I mean, she was in another state. So let's listen to this again, because there's a lot of people that live at that home. So it's not just Leilani. It's not just Danny. It's not just the brother that's been brought up. From what I'm understanding, there's other people. Hold on.
Another day has come and gone, and there is still no sign of a missing toddler. Quinton Simon was last seen on Wednesday morning. Law enforcement officers have scoured the area around his home with dogs, drones, by land, by air. WSAB's lead investigative reporter, Brett Buffington, has been following the story from day one. Tonight, he breaks down the timeline of the case.
At just 20 months old, Quinton Simon hasn't been seen for 60 hours. In those moments, we have told you a lot about the search to find him. But to tell you about the environment he was living in, we have to back up weeks. September 7th, police were called to Quinton's grandparents' home, where Quinton, his mother, her boyfriend, 2 other children, and the grandparents live. There was a fight, this police report says, between Quinton's mom, Leilani Simon, grandparents' home, where Quinton, his mother,
Daniel, 2 other children, that would be the baby, Sky, and Zane, Thomas Howell, and Billy Joe Howell. Okay, so there's no brother, there's no grandma, there's no stepsister we've been hearing about. Unless the news has it all wrong, which they can, then it seems to me that it was probably only Leilani and Daniel there. I don't know where the brother was.
her boyfriend, 2 other children, and the grandparents live. There was a fight, this police report says, between Quinton's mom, Leilani Simon, and her mother, Billy Joe Howell. Leilani called the cops on her mom. When officers showed up, she told them she was on probation and didn't want trouble. We don't know what that probation is for. The report says when police officers talked with Leilani's brother, he told them that Quinton's mom had a history of stealing and used the money to buy drugs. A day later, September 8th, Billy Joe Howell wanted her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend out. She filed for eviction. According to the document, she didn't want any money. She just wanted her 22-year-old daughter, Leilani, her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, and the 3 kids to leave quickly. Here's where the grandmother wrote it. They damaged her property, and no one is living in peace. September 16th, Leilani and Daniel found out about the eviction, but we now know as recently as last Wednesday, the 2 were still living here. That gets us to Wednesday, the morning little Quinton was last seen. At 5:29 a.m., babysitter Diana McCarta got a text message. She told us it was from Quinton's mom, saying Diana didn't have to watch the kids today. Police told us the boyfriend, who we now know is Daniel Youngkin, police say that's the last time Quinton was seen. 9 a.m., another text message to babysitter Diana, this time from a grandparent, asking if Diana had seen the toddler. The 911 call, 42 minutes later at 9:42 a.m. The WSAV investigative unit has asked Chatham County Police for that call. So far, they haven't answered our request. We know from the family, Leilani told police that Quinton's father took the child. The family said that story didn't make sense. And by 2:30 that afternoon, police said the father wasn't involved. By Wednesday night, the effort to find Quinton involved the FBI, 2 helicopters, a drone, police on horses, tracking dogs, and officers going door to door. Thursday, we watched federal agents search dumpsters, ditches, drain pipes, and the woods. Brett Buffington, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot that has gone on. That's a lot that has gone on. And don't forget everything that Jaden told us when he was on panel on Friday. It wasn't like September was just a bad month. It wasn't like September was just a bad month or October was just a bad month. This has been welling up for a long time. That's why people were so taken aback, and the news put this out, I want to say a day or 2 after Billy got publicly on her Facebook. Anyone that is spending their time bashing my family in these times, please don't hesitate to remove yourself from my Facebook. Everyone is already torn and broken. Outsiders that are okay with beating people down aren't my kind of people. I think we can all agree here that we're not down with what has gone on there. You've got the courts involved. You have a babysitter on top of 2 grown people in your home. Not to mention, there's a lot of stuff going on, guys. Help me, please.
Diana also keeps those kids when the mom and the boyfriend are at home if they're not even working. Remember Diana said that?
She has said that on multiple occasions.
So, that's sus. And then, I don't know. It just makes me sick. The whole thing is just sickening. I really feel like that the baby's already gone. I just feel there's so many things like this. I don't know. There's so many things. I just feel like that they're not going to find that baby.
Well, does anybody know if they're searching the landfill again today? I know when we were doing the show on Friday, they were searching the landfill. And somebody asked for a recap. Quinton's been missing since October 5th. Mom said she woke up and the door was open, but she told her parents that the biological father had him. And he's nowhere to be found. Months leading up to this, years leading up to this has been dysfunction, chaos. Leilani says she's on probation. The former babysitter, Jaden, that was on panel Friday, thought it had to do with stealing. He said it could be some other things, but he didn't really allude He just said it's probably the stealing problem. I feel like when Diana got that message the morning that Quinton, when the call went to the authorities, I think when she got that message, something was already horribly, horribly wrong.
I agree with you, Brooks.
I think we have a cleanup. That's a terrible word to use. That's a terrible word to use, but I think we have a cleanup timeline of from that text message to when they let Billy know they couldn't find him. Billy reaches out to Diana, and then the police are called.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And when Diana showed up out of concern, they wouldn't let her in the house. They didn't want her to help them search.
Yep.
Now, what does that remind you of?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
We also have there is a local that's in the group that Jeannie set up. She said that she's trying to put out flyers. For some reason, they're not wanting flyers put up. I don't know why. Diana is wanting to put flyers out. Isn't that something you would want to do if you're out walking the trails? You know, you're hiking around in the woods. Wouldn't you want people there to know if you see this little boy? He's missing. Not everybody watches the news. Not everybody has, looks on the internet. It's funny. I was talking about a case of what we think is a very highly publicized, everyone knows about case. I was talking to a lady at my doctor's office. She had no idea what I was talking about. And on your Facebook, what's suggested to you is, what you look at. So not everybody on Facebook is going to see that. Say you're local. You don't follow WSAV news. You're not going to know if that's where you get your news. You're not going to know. There's no Amber Alert, so nothing would have sounded on your phone. So yes, flyers would be important. They don't want flyers put out.
That makes no sense.
Mm-mm. And that's according to several locals that, I would just go ahead and put them out. Just put them out. Anybody local that's in here, I don't want your address or anything. Anybody local, have you seen any flyers around? Yo, main girl, hello, I see you backstage. Just turn your camera off. I believe it's you, honey buns, and I'll put you up. Welcome to the channel. Nice to meet you. Hello?
Hi, give me a sec. I think I'm lagging behind you, and I want to turn my TV off so there's no echo. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. You have a lot of background noise.
Is that better?
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. What's going on?
Nothing. I just really wanted to come up. I really like your show, and I'm a big fan. And
well, cool.
This is like my second panel ever, so just want to join the chat.
What do you think about this case with Quinton? Are you local to the area?
No, I'm from Maine, and I just heard about it this morning a little bit, so I really don't have an opinion too much. I just hear it's not looking too good for the parents, so I really don't know.
Jeanette said, where was the granddad? My understanding is in Illinois with Billy. I've seen a couple of comments that said no flyers up. So when did you hear about this case, you main girl?
A little bit last night and this morning. I think it was on Dolly's podcast, or video or something like that. And then I learned about it a little bit this morning, and I'm just trying to get filled in. It's terrible.
Well, lot. There's a lot going on. My jaw dropped over the weekend. I wasn't so surprised with Grandma Billy putting on her Facebook, people bashing the family. I wasn't too surprised by that. I wouldn't really, the only thing I would be doing with my Facebook is keeping my grandchild's name out there personally. But that's just me. She is not happy about, the shade that's been cast on her family, particularly people asking why she left Quinton in the care of his mother. Babysitter or not, Diana does not live there. I think it's a fair question to ask. A lot of people are saying Billy's probably going to get in trouble. There was a reason the custody of Zane and Quinton was removed from Leilani. That's the reason Leilani owes child support. The state of Georgia put that on her. It's not a civil agreement.
So she had 2 kids. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but is that what you're saying? She has 2 kids?
Leilani has 3. She lost custody of 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. And lost 1, right?
2. She's lost custody of 2.
Oh, okay. Oh.
All right, hang on. I'm going to put up the interview.
Yeah, I'm behind. I'm just gonna listen.
No, you're okay, hun. I'm going to put up the interview with Diana. Liza said he's not the granddad, he's grandma's boyfriend. Is Billy not married to him? Is Billy and Tommy not married? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. I heard they were married and I heard they weren't.
I'm still figuring out who everybody is.
Billy's the grandma. Leilani is the mother. Danny's the boyfriend. We've heard Bubba is Quinton's father. According to the previous babysitter that was on here on Friday, said that has not really been determined. I don't know. I don't know who Zane's father is. I've had a lot of Facebook profiles sent my way, but I don't know. The baby, little baby Sky that was born over the summer, her father is Danny Youngkin. Leilani is not married to Danny. She just kind of like Megan Boswell uses his name on Facebook. They're like Facebook married, I guess. So for those just coming in, this is Leilani. Also, her picture's on the thumbnail. This is a public picture. It says pretty but psycho. She's got several of these pictures. That is Leilani. That's Danny.
Aww.
He's with Quinton.
Oh my gosh, how cute. Aww. That's sad.
And then, of course, this is Billy by the swimming pool. And we also saw Billy and her husband or boyfriend on the last news clip.
Wow. And the girl in the photo right there, that's the babysitter, right?
Yes. So we're going to hear from her real quick.
Okay.
Bottom part way that McDonald's is literally right down the road. On our way back, I get a text from Danny. He says, "Have you seen Quinton?" I said, "No, why?" Well, immediately I called him. And he said they couldn't find Quinton. Okay. So me and my oldest daughter here with me, we go over there. We get in the car and we go over there. I let my other daughter out. When we get over there, I asked, okay, he's a little boy. He likes to find a seat. He likes to get in my daughter's closet and play. He could be in a closet. He could be in a cabinet. Maybe he's playing hide and seek. Me and my daughter help you look. They didn't want that. He stood there. He looked at me with the most coldest look I've ever seen and said, "We've already looked." I said, okay. So I stood there for a minute.
Okay, so I'm going to have to stop this a little bit here and there because she's telling us what went on that day. Danny is the one that told her not to look. Now, she also says she has no problem with Danny because Danny was always the one that says, do you have diapers? Do you have wipes? Do you have all this stuff? So, but Danny was the one that told her, she said, with a very cold look, let's listen to it again.
Go over there. We get in the car and we go over there. I let my other daughter out. When we get over there, I asked, okay, he's a little boy. He likes to play and seek. He likes to get in my daughter's closet and play. He could be in a closet. He could be in a cabinet. You know, maybe he's playing hide and seek. Me and my daughter help you look. They didn't want that. He stood there. He looked at me with the most coldest look I've ever seen and said, we've already looked.
If you look on the screen, this is when I was recording this. This was live Saturday night, 8 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock my time, I think. Billy is in the chat. You see it on the screen. It says Billy Joe Howell. She says she searched the house with them. So Billy is in Diana's chat. This is a Facebook Live saying Diana's lying. Do you see that, Angel?
I do see that. That doesn't look good at all.
No, she's telling her she's lying. She's also posted screenshots of Cash App. We're not doubting that Diana ever got paid. We don't think, I don't think anyway, that Diana has anything to do with this. Why would Diana run over there to look for Quinton if she has Quinton?
Well, Diana seems like the one that really cares about the kid and really cares about Quinton.
Yeah.
And what would you be doing between 5:30 and 9 to where you would forget that you'd already called and told her not to come and then call her back and ask her if she's seen it?
Well, it was Billy that called Diana at 9 a.m. Diana might say something different. I don't know. For some reason, this 9 o'clock call is very convoluted because Diana, someone even corrected Diana and said, you need to get a hold of WSAV. They're saying that the 9 o'clock text was something different. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
My thing is, why ask the woman at all when you told her not to be there?
Right.
Why ask her at all unless you're trying to set her up? But you can see on the screen, that's Billy Joe. That is Billy Joe Howell saying she searched the house with them. Billy Joe was not there, but Billy Joe was told that by either Danny, Leilani, or both. This is really important. I'm not just picking this apart. It's very important that Billy believes Diana helped search and that Billy is blaming Diana for Quinton's disappearance.
Yeah. I said, okay. So I stood there for a minute and I looked around outside of where I was. Leilani was smoking a cigarette and Danny was standing there. And I go to get in my car. I was going to call Billy Joe, and I did call Billy Joe. She didn't call him. Leilani didn't call the police until I said, have you called the police? And then she calls the police. So we started to leave. Cops came behind me. I could not leave. I guess they said what it was on the property had to stay there until after they checked everything. So I left. I came back maybe about 30 minutes later. I asked Leilani and Danny, I said, do you want me to take Zane home? So, y'all got a lot going on. She said yes. Danny said yes. I asked them to get me some shoes for the baby. They got me shoes. I came home. I called Billy Joe. Billy Joe had no idea. I've never spoke badly about Billy Joe. But today, she came.
Okay, so according to Diana, she goes over to help. And they said they won't let her help look for Quinton. I don't know why. I believe that when she was told not to come over, something already had happened and they didn't want her in the house. Something happened in that house. They did not want Diana in the house, okay?
Absolutely. Yep.
she takes Zane home with her. We got to write all this down. Not like I haven't heard it a million times, but like all kinds of stuff's popping out of me. They get the shoes, they get Zane's shoes, and she takes Zane home with her. Now, when she watches the children at her home.
To my house after I told her, I text her. She called me at 6:30 this morning. I'm sorry, I'm everywhere because this has been a lot. She called me at 6:30 this morning. We were talking. Everything was good. I text her. I told her I was going to cook, that we were going to get flyers and put them everywhere of Quinton, and that we was going to do a prayer circle over here. Never said that we was going to do a memorial for Quinton because I didn't believe he was alive or that he had passed. Never did I say that. And I can back all this up because we have cameras. Like everything I'm saying to you, I can back up. And it's just ridiculous. So she told me basically not to text her no more because she thought that I was overstepping. Well, I am just the babysitter, but I took care of them kids when their mother didn't take care of them. And I don't really have nothing to say bad about Danny because he would actually ask me these last few weeks, Miss Michelle, do the kids have everything they need? Do they have pull-ups? Because Leilani wouldn't do that. Now,
okay, so right there, she's defending Danny, saying, I don't really have, he was the one that would ask, do they have pull-ups? Do they have, they have all that stuff. But he's also the one that she said had a really dark look. So she's having to, Diana, I think they call her Michelle. He said Miss Michelle. She has a lot to process. A lot. Let's see. I think we have Jeannie right here. What's going on, Jeannie? It's a lot of noise. We'll have to have her unconnect and reconnect. Diane said they're trying to set up the sitter. What do you think, Angel?
I trust Diana more than I trust these people that we've learned, the information that we've gotten so far. I really do think that Diana, she's in a bad position. She may or may not have known what was going on. And that's another thing I think I've heard a lot of people criticize. But, I'm not making excuses for her. But sometimes in these situations, you think if I say something, then I'll not get to see the kid ever. And at least I know when he's with me, he's safe and he's being well taken care of. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I trust Diana. I don't see what the grandma has obviously flip-flopped on her already from that chat comment.
Well, the chat comment, she was saying when she was in Diana's chat, she was basically calling her a liar. She was telling people in chat, Diana was there. She helped, she helped look for him. Well, Diana's saying that they told her to get away. No, they didn't want any help. She took Zane back home with her. She can't have Zane at home with her because they have a lot going on, but in the house looking for Quinton. But someone told Billy that Diana did. It's probably the same someone that said Quinton's with his dad.
Exactly.
So why do you tell Billy Quinton's missing, but then say, oh, he's with his dad, unless you were trying to set the dad up as well? This is like Casey Anthony 2.0, except
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just trust Diana's opinion and her thoughts more than I do the boyfriend and the mom. And I think if I'm remembering Jaden correctly, there is a reputation on that street or in that community where they live that a lot of this has gone on for a long time.
Oh yeah, Jaden was he was spilling the info for sure. A fatal paper cut, which is a super cool name. said, wouldn't surprise me if Danny and Leilani were fighting, and in their fight, something happened to Quinton. I've thought about that a lot because of, well, what Jaden was telling us, that Leilani she has a history of violence against her boyfriends. It'll be nothing, he said, for a boyfriend to be, and we've talked off and on throughout the weekend, sleeping, and Leilani just starts beating on him.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you know where my mind goes with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Blind Fury said, Grandma can't be trusted. She took custody, then filled out the eviction notice and said what she did, proving she had no intentions of actually caring for anyone. Well, and also what we have, and it seems like a pattern to me, that it's going to be everybody's fault except her own child. Now, she did say on the news, it's crossing her mind a lot that her own child could have done something to Quinton. She said sometimes she makes good choices, sometimes she makes bad choices. I think we know that some bad choices were made last week. Let's see if Jeannie reconnected. Hello, Jeannie.
Hello.
What are you thinking of all this?
Well, one thing I really believe that little boy was already passed at before 5 o'clock, before the babysitter got the text.
Yeah, I do too. Reason being is because they wanted to make sure she didn't show up.
Exactly.
Neither Danny or Leilani are the type of people, and I'm not typing them per se, I'm going off of their past behaviors. Danny and Leilani do not care about anybody's time, inconvenience, gas, or anything. If Diana had shown up and they said, hey, we're off to the zoo, forgot to tell you we don't need you today, that wouldn't matter to them. But they made sure to tell her, don't come over here today.
Exactly. And was the neighbors aware of the little boy missing, Quinton missing? Were they aware of that? Like, did the Leilani and her boyfriend go out and, go to the neighbors and say, is my little boy over there or anything?
We have not heard that they did. I mean, I'm sure they're going to tell everyone they ran door to door. But when the one neighbor was on TV and wouldn't be on camera, she did not mention that they were scouring the neighborhood looking.
Yeah.
That's bad. So here, let me put it back on. Hang on.
Another thing I want to get to, Billy Joe, after she barged in my house, after all that, she come down the road. I don't live far from her. She barged in my house. This is all on camera. I jump out my chair. She gets in my face, cussing me. I cussed her back. I said some pretty bad words. Yes, I did. Because she barged in my house. Okay. My daughter was also recording. She tried to take the phone from my daughter. She told me that she thought I took her grandbaby. Like, that is the worst thing that you could ever said to me. That is worse than punching me in the face. She did not hit me. I'm not scared of her. She didn't hit me. She just yelled in my face a lot, but I yelled right back. Okay. She said that I had sold her grandbaby. How do you do that? Someone that has been good to your grandkids, someone that has 6 kids of her own that are grown. How do you do that to somebody? And then she started screaming all the way down the road for my neighbors to hear. And like, I don't care because they know me. They know the person I am. And then she started saying that she paid $700 for my kids to go to.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there because they're really torn up about this money that was exchanged to go to the water park. So she flat out thinks, or is just saying it. I don't know. Do you all think, let's have a poll in chat. Do you really think that Billy believes that Diana is responsible for the disappearance of Quinton Simon? Or do you think that she is just throwing whatever will stick because she doesn't want to accept it's her daughter?
Yeah, that's what I believe. She does want to accept that it's her daughter.
I think we can understand as well, though, that Diana is freaking out because she doesn't know how all this works, as she shouldn't. This shouldn't be something that anybody be like, well, now the last time someone accused me of selling a child, this is what happened. She wouldn't know. So she's probably pretty damn freaked out.
Yeah.
That Billy's accusing her of this. Let's go back and hear that again. I believe there's supposed to be a press conference today. If that comes to fruition, we will cover it on here. Please set your reminders and make sure you're subbed, please.
She barged in my house. This is all on camera. I jump out my chair. She gets in my face, cussing me. I cussed her back. I said some pretty bad words. Yes, I did. Because she barged in my house. Okay. My daughter was also recording. She tried to take the phone from my daughter. She told me that she thought I took her grandbaby. Like, that is the worst thing that you've ever said to me. That is worse than punching me in the face. She did not hit me. I'm not scared of her. She didn't hit me. She just yelled in my face a lot, but I yelled right back. Okay. She said that I had sold her grandbaby. How do you do that? Someone that has been good to your grandkids, someone that has 6 kids of her own that are grown. How do you do that to somebody? And then she started screaming all the way down the road for my neighbors to hear. And like, I don't care because they know me. They know the person I am. And then she started saying that she paid $700 for my kids to go to Splash in the Burris. My kids are grown. Okay. She asked me to take Quinton and Zane. Yes, she did buy the tickets. Just like I told the FBI agent, I never use them tickets. Them tickets are still there. The ticket thing is still on my phone. I never took her grandkids. I never took mine. She's never did nothing for me. I literally did not charge them a lot of money to keep these babies because I was worried about these babies. And not only me, there's neighbors up and down this road that has seen these babies outside. And I'm getting a lot of mad faces, and that's okay because I have the truth. Every text that I have sent Billy Joe is on these phones. Every text, every conversation I've had with Billy Joe is recorded in my house. So
okay, so it makes me wonder something was going on previous to, because Diana, and I haven't gotten a chance to ask her. We messaged back and forth a little bit yesterday and this morning, and she said, but she says in this, everything's recorded. So what would lead you to make sure you've got cameras and recordings and everything unless there is a problem? I'll just have to ask her about that. I don't know. But I'm just wondering if something didn't lead up to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's really odd. That's really odd. I mean, I've got cameras on my house, but I mean, I don't feel a need to tell people that I've got cameras and everything's being recorded. And this is just not cool.
So, I mean, she must have known something was going on.
Well, I mean, because obviously Quinton disappeared, but I don't know that. Let me listen to what she says again. Hang on. What's going on? Are we arguing? Is there an argument and I'm missing out? We're all on the same team here, guys. We are all on the same team. We're all talking about Quinton.
And then she started saying that she paid $700 for my kids to go to Splash in the Burris. My kids are grown. Okay. She asked me to take Quinton and Zane. Yes, she did buy the tickets. Just like I told the FBI agent.
What is this? Explain slander, Brooks. I'm not slandering anybody. I'm going off of what they are all saying and that Quinton is missing.
I never used them tickets. Them tickets are still there. The ticket thing is still on my phone. I never took her grandkids. I never took mine. She's never did nothing for me. I literally did not charge them a lot of money to keep these babies because I was worried about these babies. And not only me, there's neighbors up and down this road that has seen these babies outside. And I'm getting a lot of mad faces, and that's okay because I have the truth. Every text that I have sent Billy Joe is on these phones. Every text, every conversation I've had with Billy Joe is recorded in my house. So the FBI can check this. I don't care. Like, I never want to go bash nobody. I am a Christian, but a Christian can stand up for herself, especially when you accuse me of stealing your grandbaby. I would never do that. I don't have anything on my record. I've never had defects at my house. My kids are grown. My kids have done really good. Like, I'm not, and I have no reason to judge anybody. I mean, I've did stuff in my life. I'm not perfect, but never the stuff like that. And I just love these kids. And I didn't steal nobody. I didn't do anything wrong. So she can bash me all she wants to, but God don't like ugly, and it's going to come back on her for doing this 100%. So somebody keeps asking me, do I think Leilani done it? I'm going to tell you this, that a mother that lets her kids outside, that doesn't watch them, that numerous people have seen, that they're bruised, they're dirty, and there's plenty of evidence of this. You tell me what you think. I told Billy Joe my concerns. I sent her stuff, and she didn't listen to me. So she can't blame anybody but herself for what has happened. Nobody. And I see a lot of people commenting, but I can't do that. I can't answer all these questions right now. I don't know much about what's going on over there. I don't know what the FBI is saying. I did talk to the FBI. They checked my cameras. I told them I would when I called the police today on her because I was going to press charges. You can't just bust in someone's house, and I'm still going to do it. I'm calling a lawyer Monday morning. You can't just bust in someone's house and then try to take their daughter's cell phone and hit their hand. You can't do that. Like, that's not allowed. But this has got out of hand. This is about Quinton. This is about Monkey. And yes, I am just the babysitter, I guess. But I watched out for them kids more than their mother ever did. So you can say what you want about me. Have all the opinions you want. But it doesn't matter because I know the truth. And other people know the truth.
Okay, so people are asking who paid the babysitter. There's actually Venmos from Danny and Leilani, and then there's Cash Apps from Billy. So a lot of people are saying, well, they can't call the babysitter off because they weren't paying her. But there was money exchanged. I'll just show one. Where did it go? Oh, I've probably got it on my phone. Well, this one is from Billy, but there's others. I'll put them up here in a second. I got to get on my phone. This is the water park payment to take all the kids to the water park. Imagine being Diana with a bunch of kids by herself. You would need some help. So I don't know who all was supposed to go to the water park. I guess the water park thing never happened, and it's being brought up now. So that's between Billy and Diana. So you see all these payments, and there's dates there too. But then also there's Venmo transactions between Danny to Diana and Leilani to Diana. So I guess, the argument, well, they can't call off the babysitter anyway. I don't think they really did things by the book. I don't think there was any contract written out as to who's the boss and who isn't. I don't know. I don't think so. But she had payments from all three of them. I don't mean at once. I don't mean she was being triple paid.
And that is exactly what I wanted to say. That's it. I'm praying that Quinton is still alive. I'm hoping he is. I would love to just be able to see his face. He is a precious child. So is Zane. So is Sky. I don't know what happened to him, but I know what they went through. I know what their mother didn't do for these kids. And she didn't. So this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to come on here and say that Billy Joe can spread all the lies that she wants about me. It is about finding this baby, this precious baby. And you know what? God is in this situation. God knows. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. God does, but it'll all come out. Everything that happened will come out. So hate me, like me, I don't care. This is the truth. It is my side, but it is the truth. And like I said, I told the FBI, they have all these phones. They have all the messages where I've sent. Literally, Quinton come over the other day with bruises, belt bruises on his arm and on his neck. I text Billy Joe. I never got a text back.
Okay, so she told Billy about bruises that she saw on Quinton. Again, there is a lot leading up to his disappearance. I dive. Exactly. Sucks to be the only positive in a situation, but the one getting blamed. She's getting blamed by the grandma. I don't know that she's had any conversations with Leilani or with Danny since the morning of, but let us not forget that she took Zane back home with her. Hello, Muscles. What are you thinking of this?
Hey, Brooks. It just tells me, I think we've all got questions about why she had cameras and stuff like that and was recording. I think that's exactly why, because the bruises, she's probably trying to protect herself so that they don't try to pin this on her. I could imagine if I was babysitting somebody else's children like she was doing day in, day out, and I kept seeing these weird circumstances and knew that there had been maybe some involvement of child protective services of some sort or whatever it is, and wherever you live, I would want myself protected, because it would be easy to hang it on a babysitter. How often is it a babysitter? We've seen that so many times. So I think she's probably, and that's just speculation, probably doing it to protect her own self, and I wouldn't blame her. I would definitely want to do the same.
It makes perfect sense. I'm just wondering when the alarm went off in Diana's head, and I'll ask her, when did she start getting the cameras and everything? When did she realize there might be something very wrong here?
Yeah.
You heard from that news clip. There's a big difference in watching the movie and being in it. There's some that are just as plain as day right in front of our face, and it doesn't resonate with us for a while. And sometimes it's too late.
Sure. Absolutely.
Very, very early in this case. So we don't really know.
No.
We don't really know right now who's on.
Yeah. And and it also makes you wonder, could she have possibly said something to them and they got pissed about her asking that question, just being like, what are all these bruises from? And they got mad at her for asking those questions. And she's like, there's something, nefarious going on here. And I've got to protect myself. I don't know. Again, we're all speculating, of course. But I can see that being the case, too, where she's like, I've got to do something to protect myself because something's not right here, just mother instinct or whatever. But I also did want to just pop on here really quick and say, you were talking earlier about locals and stuff and hanging flyers and I can't and I dropped it in chat, and hopefully anybody that saw it or that was there reading in chat that is local saw it, but I can't express the importance of continuing regardless how long this goes on, regardless how many times somebody may take your flyers down. Be relentless in your effort and continuing to do what you can for this child, because obviously there's not many people that's been there for Quinton, unfortunately, and it's super sad. But just be very diligent in what you're doing. Be relentless. No matter how many you have to print, just keep printing and hanging, because we're in the same situation here in Tennessee with Summer, and it's just I just can't stress that enough to anybody, any case, for that matter, but particularly for these little small kids, because we all know how we feel about these situations, and just the story itself that we hear, an outsider looking in, it's just the story itself is awful feeling. And when you feel awful, trust your feelings. So that's basically what I wanted to say.
Well, and it couldn't be more important, because not everybody catches their local news. Yeah. Not everybody talks to people, around town. They wouldn't know. But if they're out shopping or something and they see these flyers around, yeah, definitely. And I don't see anyone in that family can keep that from happening.
No,
I
don't either.
Know that you could do that. I just see how you can do that. And guys, I believe there is a press conference today. And so please hit your reminder, because as soon as they go live, we're going to be live covering the press conference. Please, please, please. Hang on one second.
So I don't know what happened to these babies. I just know that I didn't do anything to the baby. We loved them. And I think that it's not okay for Billy Joe just to come in my house and uninvited and do what she thinks she can do and spread rumors about me. It's lies. So that's all I got to say. Yes, Billy Joe did tell me that she had custody of the boys. I'm answering a question. She did tell me she had custody of the boys and that Leilani did not. Like I said, I've never said nothing bad about Billy Joe, but she come after me for no reason. I know she's got emotions right now, and people, already comment on my thing. Well, you shouldn't do this to the grandma. Well, she shouldn't do it to me, because I was the one that was here with the babies, and all I was doing was trying to tell her what was going on. So if I'm a bad person for that, then let me be a bad person for that. Could I go through the timeline again? Okay, at 5:29, I got a text on Wednesday morning saying that from Danny that they was not coming. Leilani was with them. Then at 9 o'clock, I got a text from Danny asking me if I had seen him. I said no. I called him.
Oh, okay, right there. She said, I got the text from Danny. Did you guys all hear that?
Yeah.
But the news said that it was from Billy. That's got to be cleared up. So either she's confused because she has a lot going on and she's been accused of being involved by the grandmother, or the news got it wrong, because WSAV said that text came from Billy. She just said Danny. And no, I'm not trying to make Diana look bad. That's just got to be cleared up. That's very important. Times and who was looking for Quinton. I want to know why they're asking her. And if she's being accused, they let Zane go with her. She cared more for the children. I don't just mean in an emotional way, I mean physically, than the mama, than Leilani. So we heard earlier from WSAV, a text came in at 9 a.m. from Billy, from the grandmother. She just said it's from Danny. That's a very big difference. Now I want to know, I'm going to go with that the news made a mistake, okay? I'm going to do it that way right now because it's Diana telling her story. I want to know when Billy found out that her grandson was missing, for certain. Not Facebook certain, for certain.
Immediately, he said they couldn't find him. I went over to their house. She did not end up calling the police until after I got there. It was about, I think it was about 9:35, 9:40 when they finally called the police. And literally that's all I know. All I know is what I seen, and not just me. It's more people down here, this road. What I seen when they were with Leilani. That's what I seen. I never said that I was their mother. I'm not their mother. I'm just someone that cares. That's it. I'm just someone that cares. And sometimes I think that gets me in trouble because I care too much. But yes, that's all I got to say. I just wanted to set the record straight. I just wanted everyone to know what was going on. But I have texts, all the texts that Billy Joe and me text today. I never cussed her. I never said anything bad to her, negative. She just went off on me for no reason. But I can back everything. Everything can be backed up. So I'm going to let it go after this. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And I'm going to put it in God's hands. That's all I can do. So thank you all for watching. I know everybody on here, there's so many people around the world that is praying for Monkey. I called him Monkey. Me and my girls called him Monkey. And he would just smile ear to ear, and he smiled with his eyes when you called him Monkey. He just smiled so big. But we're praying. We still have faith. And that's all I got to say. But thank you guys that joined. Thank you for the positive remarks that's been coming in. And thank you to those who just are bashing me. It's okay. I know. So, all right. Well, I hope y'all guys have a good night. If you have any more questions, I can try to answer them in my message. This is really just overwhelming to me, everything that's going on. Yes, ma'am. I do not think Billy Joe is innocent because, like I said, I got in contact with her several times about what was going on. And I never said that before. But it's, you're going to blame me for this. And I've been so good to your grandkids. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I feel like you should have come when I text you all them things and told you what was going on, because them babies needed you. And you weren't there. So, yes, that is not my truth. That is the truth. So, y'all guys have a good night. I know y'all are praying. We are all praying. And thank you.
I feel like I need a nap. That's a lot of stuff. Now, I do not know why this water park payment is of importance now, but she said that she showed the FBI that she still has the tickets. So the money was sent to Diana, I'm assuming. I saw it on the Cash App. It says on there what it's for. Tickets were purchased. Something came up. They didn't go. So it's not like she stole money from Billy. They did not call the police until Diana got there to help look. Now, in the chat comments, not this chat, and no, Billy has not been in this chat. Billy, I have not seen Billy's name pop up in this chat. Trust me, you'd know if Billy was in here. There would be no mistake. Okay. So I just can't see Billy really thinking that Diana has anything to do with Quinton's disappearance. We heard Billy, who we believe to be Billy, and her daughter in the backyard fighting with each other. We heard Leilani say, "My kid's gone, leave me alone. My kid's gone, leave me alone." So with the exception of the entire month of partying, it's like we have a Casey Anthony 2.0. Don't forget, Leilani said Quinton is with his biological father, whoever that may be. Just because Bubba tells Quinton happy birthday on his Facebook does not mean Bubba is his daddy.
Amen. Amen. And it's just so sad that it's just like it's this combination right now of Summer and poor Evelyn. You know, it's like both of them. It's like a combination of both of these kids' issues that these parents and people who were responsible for them just completely failed them, and so did the system. I mean, it's just like what, you know, if in fact the system was involved, and I don't guess I need to throw that out there because I don't know for sure. You know, this one's been hard for me to keep up with. I'll be honest, Brooks, because it's just like deja vu all over again. Like, it just gets so sickening to listen to, but I can't help but not, because this poor child needs people, you know, on his side for a change. But if in fact the system was involved, it's like why do we keep having this happen over and over and over again? And why? I thought we were changing laws that were going to require Amber Alerts to go out the moment a child's reported missing, regardless if it meets all the criteria. Like, when are we ever going to get to that point so that people that don't know what's going on know?
It's state by state. And let me tell you how messed up that system is.
Oh, God.
I got an alert on my phone yesterday. It wasn't an Amber Alert. It's like a Silver Alert, an adult. And it even says on there, would you like to cancel this notification? I could hear the all over the store. People were getting the text. I can't tell you how many people I heard saying, I thought I turned that damn thing off. Screw the alert. People don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's awful.
We can have planes flying over with banners hanging off. People be like, damn, that plane's in the air again. I can't sleep. Don't they know I work during the day?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And it's super sad. I mean, this whole thing is awful. I mean, it's just awful, and it reeks and it stinks. I mean, it does. It truly does. And I want to know why the grandmother is so hard on the babysitter. Like, I want to know that. Like, what is the deal? You know, I mean, I don't understand. Or is it just because she's thrown out accusations, or is it for some other reason that none of us know of? It's, you know, I mean, there's so many questions still left unanswered. And I really hope that we learn something today through the press conference, and then that goes down, because I've just been, I know everybody else too, on the edge of your seats. We need some information on this poor child. We truly do.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to get some answers today. Someone just sent me a message. They said they looked at the inmate roster. There's no arrests or anything like that, but that there was a very heavy presence at the landfill yesterday.
Oh,
wow. This person is local. I'm just telling you what I was told. We don't know until we hear the press conference. I think Billy's emotions towards Diana, for one, Diana has not been babysitting, probably because Billy is there. Billy got, you know, when Billy got the news, she came from Illinois. She was on the news talking about what time she got in. I have a feeling there is a lot of emotions going on with Billy. Guilt, anger at her daughter, anger at herself. She knows what people are saying. She blasted it on Facebook. Don't talk about my family. You guys aren't my kind of people, is what she said. This is not a time to bash my family. Well, we didn't know you. We didn't know you, and we still don't know you. We know that Quinton is missing. That's what we know. That's what we know. Hello, UFC Frog. What do you have to say about this?
What's going on? Good morning, guys.
Hey, I never got an email. Send me an email. I put it in my after show comments.
Okay. I'll email you. I'll shoot you an email. Sorry about that. I find it very strange that they're looking at.
I find it very strange.
Sorry, I got a phone call. I said I find it very strange that they're looking in the wasteland now, knowing that was the day that Quinton went missing, was the garbage day. You know what I'm saying? It's that's I mean it's that's you can't find the kid. The babysitter was saying she reported all this. They called her to cancel that day. The garbage goes out in the mornings. I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm at right now on this one. You know what I'm saying?
There's two constants in all of these cases. All of these cases. Well, this one's screaming foul play. We're not going to have a press conference to tell us it's not. I just don't believe that. Past tense makes sense. That's one. Past tense makes sense. Remember that. When they're coming out of the gate using the missing in past tense, that's a bad sign, my friends. And coincidence is evidence. What we're talking about today, if you follow this case to the end, these little things are going to be brought up. You're going to see them in paperwork. You're going to see them in arrest affidavits. You're going to see them in probable causes.
I want to make something clear. If any of you guys got kids you don't want, fucking drop them off at my house, man. I love kids, dude. Holy moly. Please, Lord, don't stop killing these kids, man. That's all I got to say. I coached kids for 15 years in baseball. I'm 32 years old. I've coached until I was 17. And I love those kids more than I love myself. And this shit hurts me, man. I swear, every one of these cases that continue to keep happening with these parents that don't want these kids or they act up, these young parents can't deal with the amount of stress the kid brings, you know? I mean, there's people in the world that'll take them, guys. And it's heartbreaking that these kids can't defend themselves and they're put through this. That's what kills me the most, man.
It's disgusting. Kids are the most endangered species on our planet.
And what is this thing with the grandparents? I mean, I'm a grandparent. I love my child. But if something's going on, those grandkids come first, not my child.
Amen, sister.
Have been dropping my jaw more in the last 2 or 3 years than anything. We had the case of Olivia Jansen in Kansas City. I could not believe what happened to little Olivia. We have Summer Wells. I've been screaming since January about little Harmony Montgomery. You're telling me none of the grandparents, the grandpappy or nobody was looking for her? We have the case of Oakley Carlson, same thing. Now we have this. You know that your daughter's unfit. You can play denial all you want. And sometimes she makes good decisions. Sometimes she doesn't. It sounds like stepmeths. Mom in the Harmony Montgomery case. Oh, I can get my daughter to tell me the truth. Sometimes, she lies, but I know when she's not. I know when she's lying. I know when she's telling the truth. Stop it. Piss on your kids. These grandbabies, I'm telling you, we got dogs chewing them up in baby cribs and everything. Kids are the most endangered species on our planet.
Amen. I just think that too, that, I don't know, I'm speculating, but Billy is obviously in charge of everything and everybody, in my opinion, as much as she can be. And perhaps she expected some type of loyalty from Diana because, in these situations, there's a lot of secrets, drug use, violence, there's a lot of secrets. So I don't know. Maybe she expected Diana to be loyal to her, but Diana's not from that family. She's not going to react the way that other people do.
What a great point. I have a feeling what sparked this was Diana talking to the news, because that really catapulted this case into a different universe. When we heard her say, they texted me and told me not to babysit, but I babysit whether they've got things to do or not, and they wouldn't let me come in and search the house. I have a feeling a mixture between that and her own internal struggles she's got going on. It was full on Donkey Kong, and Diana got it.
Oh, yeah.
Very good point, Angel.
I can see them not letting her search the house, though. I mean, 100% I can see that. I mean, obviously, Ellie's already been in there. You know what I'm saying? So I can see them.
No, they hadn't been there yet. The police hadn't even been called.
Wow, shit. If I was her, I wouldn't even want to be in the house, knowing that my DNA will be all over the, you know what I'm saying? If I was that babysitter, I would say, well, wait a minute then. I'm thinking on both sides of the stick. And obviously, they know what's going on there, those parents. There's too many fights. You guys see all the videos of the fights going on?
Oh, I know. We played it 4 or 5 times on the show Friday. We missed you, UFC.
Yeah, no, I had the kids and we were watching the Hocus Pocus thing, and that go.
This is absolutely insane, guys. And I stand by the title of my show on Friday, Foul Play My Ass. I get what the police are saying because they got to let cooler heads prevail when they say, well, right now there's no evidence of foul play. Well, you may not have found anything in the house, and you may not have broke them under interrogation because overnight you had Danny in one room and you had Leilani in the other. But when we had Jaden on the show, who's a former babysitter, he said, no. Leilani, she's going to lie to the end. She is a pathological liar. This will not be the only story she tells, he told me later. She's going to develop more and more and more stories. You remember with Casey Anthony, she said that she worked at Universal Studios. She took the police all the way there. They bypassed the security gate. They went in and said, no, we don't have badges. We're law enforcement. She said, oh, I left mine at home. And as they were walking down the hall and she's aimlessly wondering to show them where her office is, she turns around and she knew she had to tell them the gig was up. Didn't tell them what she did with their daughter, just had to go ahead and let them know, I didn't want to tell my mom I lost my job. We're going to see a lot of stuff. We're going to see a lot. This is bad.
And then what about the eviction notices too? Weren't they evicted, the boyfriend and the daughter? Weren't they on the way to being evicted from the mom?
Well, the mom filed the paperwork, but she didn't. I mean, I have a feeling it's rinse and repeat. I have a feeling we have a vicious cycle, a toxic cycle. Mom probably said, that's it. I'm laying down the law. I'm kicking all your asses out. Look, here's my handwriting. Here it is. I went down there and I filed this against you. There you go. I put it on the screen, UFC Frog. There it is. There's my handwriting. I'm kicking y'all out. I filed this. Probably by the next day, it was all water under the bridge.
Yeah,
this has been going on for years, my friend.
It happens a lot with those type of families. I was in one of them. I'm gonna tell you, my mom was successful. She's alcoholic. Same thing. She would yell at me one day, "You're out." Because I used to party and shit. I'm not gonna lie. I used to have a fun life, and same thing. She would do the same thing. Write the letter up, and then the next day it'd be water under the bridge. You know what I'm saying? We'd be over it. And I never dropped the low as what happened here, but there's families out there that are like that, guys. I mean, they're not bad families. They think that they can fix their own problems, but there's problems in the world you cannot fix as a parent. There's problems in the world that you cannot change.
No way. No way. But if you're used to it, like I said, it's one thing watching the movie where you can say, run, you know they're going to get you. Totally different being in the movie. They're used to this. This is their rinse repeat. It's probably not the first time she threatened to kick her out. She's probably done this before. I'm going to go down to the county and I'm going to have you evicted. You're out of my house. You stole my stuff for drugs. Your brother told me about it. You're tearing up all my stuff. You know, you're pissing in my swimming pool. You name it. You can just imagine the argument. Exactly, Mama B. Let's not forget, Leilani tried to pin this on Quinton's dad at first. Then she says, oh, the door was open. What the hell's going on here? I don't know. Ooh, Sal 80. You are so right, Sal. And here's the thing. We had a little boy, I think it was in Southeast Oklahoma. It was all over my news. This little boy did get out of the house. He did. He got out of the house. He wound up in a pond and he drowned. Mom said, door was open, can't find my child. That is what happened. Those things can happen. It's awful. But mom only had one story. In the case I'm talking about, that story was, and that's exactly what happened. But now when they have several stories, Letitia Staunch, she could write a book. We could write a book about all her stories. I'm surprised the book isn't out yet. Megan Boswell, she had many, many stories. Oh, good old Candace. Can't forget about Candace. Casey Anthony, several stories. Now we got Leilani with the daddy. You don't even, no. That's what she told her parents. They had to have been like, what? You probably haven't seen him since you got pregnant with Quinton. What are you talking about? The door was open.
What time did the boyfriend leave for work? Anybody know that time? We got that.
We don't know exactly about that whole situation because he was there at 9 a.m. or around that time. I don't know exactly what time the babysitter went over to help try to find Quinton and was told, we don't want you to help find Quinton. But she took the older brother, Zane, back home with her because she said, you guys have a lot going on around here.
That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. That's like that same thing with Kylie. You would think the same kind of thing. You would think all hands on deck if it's an active missing person case. You know what I'm saying? You would want all hands on deck. Maybe not the house, but can you go search into the pond? Can you go around the city? You know what I'm saying? Just you would think that if it was an active missing person, there would be no denying any help at all. Maybe not. You don't want people inside your house, but give him another job. Go look around out. You know, his favorite place. Go look at the park. I don't see it, man. Unless you know he's dead. Just like Kylie, they knew he was dead. They were turning down adults to search for her. They know this kid was dead. They're turning down any kind of help they can get because they're trying to fix the situation, not work on it. You know what I'm saying? Not look for the kid. They're trying to fix. They're covering up their asses instead of find a missing person.
Oh, you're exactly right. If you're trying to find a child. Kimberly, I see you, so you can turn your camera off. Find a child. Yeah, Kimberly, I see you, so you can turn your camera off. Find a child. Yeah. Okay, I had to mute Kimberly. Kimberly, turn your YouTube app off. I can hear myself. God, how do you sit through a show listening to me? God, I just heard that come through.
Hey, breakfast. I'm going to hop down on being chat, okay?
All right, Muscles. Thank you, hun.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Yeah, it's an echo because Kimberly has her YouTube app open. You can hear me talking. Did you get it fixed, Kimberly?
I believe so. Can you hear me more clearly now?
Yes. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you so much for taking my call and having me up here. I love your show, listening to you. I just have to say, I mean, I think we have to take the simplest explanation, whether it was an accident, something with NyQuil, something overdosed the baby, the fact that the daughter called and canceled the babysitter. 1 + 1 is 2. And if there was truly a disappearance, why would you hold off calling 911 immediately? If my dog disappeared, I would be calling for help right away, let alone my child. I just something up there for sure.
Totally agree with you, Kimberly. Especially it took her 4 hours to call 911. If you searched your house, it took you 4 hours.
That's normal. If I lose sight of my children for 1 second at like a carnival, that 1 second is like that sickening thing in your stomach. And it's not normal to wait 4 hours. Absolutely not normal.
Yeah. What were you doing those 4 hours? And then at 5:20, you knew the kid was missing. And 100% you knew the kid was missing. You don't text the babysitter unless you have a real excuse. You'd be like, oh, the kid's feeling sick. The kid's, you know what I'm saying? But at 5:20, you can text them, say you're not working. And then at 6, the kid's missing. Huh. Okay, good one. What time did the boyfriend leave? That'll question everything right there. You know what I'm saying?
I've been on Candace Wells' ass for almost 16 months. You're telling me that it took you that long to call for help? And I get that everybody's going to look for their own child at first. My kids have been out of my sight before. It felt like days. I'm like, oh, God. But I mean, that's insane. That's insane. Hello, PJ. Welcome to the channel. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Good. I hope that you can hear me okay because I'm driving home for lunch, but I really couldn't resist. There's a big part of this that I feel like is important that hasn't been mentioned. During one of the babysitter's lives, she states how she was told, or Billy had asked her if she could just keep the kids until she got back from work, until she was able to return, which was, that 3-week period. And she had said yes. And then Billy had called her back. I don't remember the time frame. I believe like 30 minutes, an hour later, and said, never mind. She wanted to give Leilani a chance to be a mom and that her kids were also taken from her. So she didn't want Leilani to have the same experience or something of that effect. I'm paraphrasing.
I think that's very important too, because it was also my understanding Remember, this is a very new case. This case isn't even a week old. So we have information coming. We're information overload. So it's easy to get things confused. But it was my understanding as well. I don't know, Angel, if you heard this, UFC, Kimberly, chat, that Diana was supposed to have the children at her home the entire time, not to be with Leilani at home.
That's 100% correct from what I read and heard. That is 100% correct, and she allowed him to be there that day. That's what she said that day. But I feeling that they were living with them for, you know what I'm saying, beyond this point, and that she felt bad and gave him right back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's 100% correct of what I read.
Yeah, that's what I also read. And also I done a little bit of research, and I know Billy, the grandma, had an extensive criminal history in the past. I know it's been a while, and you know, I believe people can change, but she was definitely not, she was doing the same type of stuff Leilani was doing, in my opinion, back in her days.
So on one hand, you would think Billy would know that she can't trust Leilani because she would remember her former self and what she did when she didn't have it together. But then on the other hand, she says that she didn't want her to go through what she went through. So it's kind of like, let's cut her a break. Now, let us not forget that in September is when we have a child support order from the state of Georgia that hits Leilani's mailbox, which is also Billy's. And Billy handwrites out, "We don't have a moment's peace around here. I want them gone. They're tearing up my stuff."
I don't know. It's just a cycle of chaos. I've been a middle school teacher for 20 years, and you just see this cycle repeat and repeat and repeat. The grandmother should have known better. She has custody. She's responsible. She needed to know what was going on 24/7 with those kids, and those kids should have never been left with the mom by themselves. The whole thing's really unfortunate, and I don't think it's going to come out very nicely.
No, and the question is, what happened to Quinton? In these cases, I'm telling you, if you follow them to the end, I'm a broken record. I know I say it all the time. When it comes out what happened, it's something that we could never have imagined. When I heard what happened to little Evelyn Boswell, I had to be by myself for a little while. When I read that arrest affidavit of little Gannon Staunch, I lost it.
Yeah.
These people, I'm telling you,
I think it's hard if you don't live in that type of chaos. I have nothing to compare to that. So yes, I do think when you hear these things, you just can't even imagine what possesses people. You just can't even imagine.
Is Billy Joe working or no?
I don't know if she took time off or not. Last I heard, Leilani and Danny are still in the home, as is Zane and Sky. I have been thinking that any minute I'm going to hear that the Child Protective Services of Georgia have removed those children. I don't know, but I don't know what the press conference is going to say.
I was wondering who is my thing about her working was who was getting the state funds for that kid. Was it the mom? Were they fighting over that? Were they fighting over the taxes? Were they fighting over the EBT? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that comes with that kid too. There's a lot of money that comes along with the kid.
Yep.
Especially whoever has sole priority over the kid, custody over the kid gets to claim the kid on taxes and gets the probably $300-400 a month in food and $200, $300 cash for the kid from the state of Georgia. So you got to think about that too. If the mom was in custody, the daughter could have been fighting over the mom for that. Give me the card. Give me the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it was a hot, chaotic mess in that household. Yeah. It still is. Yeah.
It still is. We heard him fighting in the backyard. You heard Leilani. We had it on the show on Friday. We'll talk about it again, I guarantee.
Yeah.
She screams, "My kid is gone. Leave me alone."
Clearly said it like she knew. See, like, not that we can go find him. The kid is gone.
Right, like he's gone, done.
Just like they got in a fight and she did something to that kid, and then you guys know I killed him, so it's your fault because you yelled at me during the fight. That's what those kind of kids when they were younger. You know what I'm saying? You made me throw that glass at the wall because you yelled at me. You know, you threw the glass yourself, buddy.
Right, you made me hit him.
Yep, those are those kids. You deal with middle school. I coach baseball, 10 to 12-year-olds, middle school kids. And I do. It's every day. You know what I'm saying? Every single day.
It's just so sad. This is going to be a devastating ending.
You know, I don't blame Diana for recording and typing everything. I don't think she trusted them completely.
Oh, I think she made the right decision in doing that 100%. Absolutely. As an educator, like I said, I would have done the same exact thing. She needs to cover her butt for sure. I do wish, though, she truly had these concerns that they would have been reported, though, sooner to the state over and over and over again. But, you know, hindsight is always 20/20.
Was the daughter Leilani on supervised vision, or did she get her own visits when she wanted to? How did that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
Because the mom could be charged if Leilani ends up doing it, and the son and the boyfriend end up doing it. The mom can get charged if she had full custody and they weren't supposed to be around the baby by themselves. She can get charged just as well as them for negligent neglect. You know what I'm saying?
I think that might be part of what, obviously, the big concern, the big upset is Quinton is missing. But I think between Diana going on the news talking about the text, and they didn't want me to come in the house and help search. I think that really put a spur in her saddle, Billy's. And I think there could have maybe somehow got to her, whether it been an authoritative figure or just reading things online. She could be in trouble because if someone loses custody, it's like I was talking about a friend of mine. She's raising her grandchildren under no uncertain terms. They were not shy about it. They said, do not leave your child alone with your grandchildren. You have guardianship for a reason. She understands it fully. They can come by and visit. They can eat dinner. But nobody, no way. I do not believe that Billy was not told that either. Billy obviously knew, because when Billy left for Illinois, she had it set up. What we're being told is correct. She had it set up that Diana would have the children at all times.
And how did they end up going back home? So Diana had them, and they got dropped back off that night. Do we know how that happened? Did Billy call and say, "Oh, let them just spend the night with their mom"? Is that how that occurred? Why were they not at Diana's?
There was some sort of conversation about don't want Leilani to go through the same thing I went through. I made mistakes too. That type of rinse, repeat.
Got it. Yes. Yeah.
You know, and the babysitter's catching hell. People are like, you should have done something. You should have done something. Look, Child Protective Services were already involved.
And yes. And you know what? It may not change. There's only so much you can do. And like you said, they're already involved. And I think people think I don't know what people think, but it's CPS. It's hard to work through that system, unfortunately. It doesn't act that quick. And yeah, that babysitter's caught between a rock and a hard place. I feel so badly for her.
I mean, what would you expect too? If you got you got that whole family you were working for $30, whatever a day was nothing, but you're working for them, and then you start calling them out, and then people are telling you to do more. I mean, for her to do more, you get a bunch of crackheads living in that house. I mean, I would be worried about my safety. You know what I'm saying? They're willing to kill a 6-month-old kid. What would they do to me? Shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm just think about it. She knew these people were off. She told you guys she knew. But why risk my life? I could call CPS.
Well, and she's not going to come out publicly and say that she had been calling on them. So
that is true.
She can't come out and say what she was doing behind the scenes. She already had a confrontation on Saturday. She's got her own home to protect. And not to mention now, she's got people driving by her house and taking pictures waiting for her to come out and talk to her.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think she just needs to stay behind the scenes now. I feel badly for her, but at this point, try to let the spotlight focus on the family and this child.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I said about Megan and the Kylie case. Same thing. If you don't want the attention, don't bring it to yourself, because all it is going to cause more harm. Look at the mom tripping out, trying to break into her house now and stuff. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff just shows you guiltiness. So much guiltiness. You don't get mad when someone's trying to help you, especially when if Billy Joe and the grandpa or whatever, they're saying that the kid that the kid was mistreated before there and all this, and she's trying to help you with the kid. If this was about the kid, you'd be on the babysitter side. You wouldn't be sitting here getting mad at the babysitter, because now you're mad that
Yeah, if this was truly about finding your kid, you wouldn't be mad at anyone for wanting to help. You'd be begging everyone across the world, the babysitter, to be over there ripping apart every closet, doing whatever. And this isn't normal.
Well, and if it comes out that Diana did nothing, that she did not report any abuse at all, that she never called, she never filed any report, I don't expect her to publicly say it because of her own safety.
Of course. So.
But if it comes out that way, she could be in trouble because she was accepting money to be a caregiver to the children. She is what is called mandated.
Yes, a mandated reporter. Absolutely. Especially if she is a licensed babysitter for the state. That is true.
And if she's not, she never will be a babysitter. This is a messed up situation for all of them, dude.
I think we're going to find out, though. I wouldn't be shocked that she had made reports before. And that's why she continued to stick around in the kids' lives, despite this chaos, was to make sure that they were safe. And that's what's so unfortunate about all this. Like the one night they're out of her care, this all happens.
Tracy Jones says, judge not lest you be judged. Okay, I'm not a judge, and innocent until proven guilty is for the courts. This is not a court of law. What we are doing is we are talking about a case of a little boy that should be playing with his Tonka trucks right now. He should not be the center of a conversation that has to do with drugs, a babysitter, a landfill, custody, open doors, who's his dad, etc. I'm telling it like it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Who's losing out the most in all this is that little child. And
100% that kid, man. There's so many people in the world that can't have kids that would die for kids.
Yes,
dude.
Absolutely. That would.
I'm one of them, dude.
Be
I
willing
put
to step
myself in
in there.
relationships. I get relationships with women that have kids. So I could be a stepdad. Swear to God, dude. Like I would die for it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I hear you.
And it just sucks to see these things because knowingly, I think the mom knows what happened. She just, think about it. They could have been fighting like one of these fights and saying, "Oh, this time I'm not going to let you have your kids back." And what does the daughter do? Well, you won't see them either way. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
That's smart. I think, like we said, it just, like you said, rinse and repeat. I like that. I think, it's just a cycle of dysfunction, and I don't think anyone in that cycle really is making decisions clearly, thinking clearly, or is really 100% responsible for any aspects of their
without
life.
the right mental health, eventually it's going to lead to the worst case of the scenario. That's how it goes. And every single one of these cases, like you said, it's turmoil at that house, and it boils up, and sooner or later it boils over. And it's just continuous, man. It's like if you have a kid, they should have to go through like at least a mental health, screening to make sure, because it's just consistently going on these days.
You would think, right?
Yeah. Studies have shown that when you have a lot of people living I'm not saying they had a small house, but when you have a lot of people living in one home like that, okay, that there's an increased chance for some type of violence. Now, we already know there was violence, obviously, and neglect and abuse going on. So I have a feeling that Billy thought that she could keep Diana under wraps. And then Diana starts reporting things to her that, she's seeing and stuff, and she's worried about it. But so far, it was almost like they were using Diana. My God, they were only paying her like $30 a day, or if even that much, to keep two kids.
That's crazy. I pay my dog babysitter $50 a day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
when you're in that dysfunction, what happens is you got a raging alcoholic comes home. They beat the crap out of everybody. They get up the next morning and nobody mentions it.
Yeah.
It's just like everything's normal. That's part of the dysfunction and the insanity of all this violence and drug use going on.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I don't think they have any idea what normal is and haven't known normal in a very long time.
They don't. I mean, look at the gravity of the situation. You have officers going through your trash. You live in this community where the landfill, you have FBI agents digging through the landfill.
I know.
People on ATVs, helicopters, all over looking for Quinton. They're looking through your trash. You know what street they're going down. You know what they're thinking. Of course, but you're in the backyard fighting with each other, screaming to where the newscaster out in the street can hear you. The neighbors are out on their front porch, probably not the first time, going, what the hell's going on over there now? And it's just another day for them. My kid's gone. Leave me alone. Get off my back, Billy. Get off my back, Billy. My kid's gone. Who are you to cause me more problems today? Then what does Billy do? Billy gets on Facebook and puts this up. Anyone that's spending their time bashing my family in these times, please don't hesitate to remove yourself from my Facebook. Everyone is already torn and broken. Outsiders that are okay with beating people down aren't my kind of people.
Well, people that just lose their children and take 4 hours to call the police aren't my type of people either.
That's exactly what I said. I talked about the case, not that far from me. This poor woman, her son, her little autistic 2-year-old, he got out of the house. He drowned.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about her. I mean, there was a few people.
There are tragic accidents that do happen to the best parents, and that's why they're called accidents. And they're unfortunate. This, I do not believe, is a tragic accident that could have not been prevented if there was some sort of parenting going on here.
100%. And if my kid was missing, I wouldn't be arguing in the backyard with my mom. I'd be on my freaking bike, on my feet, in my car looking for my kid. I don't care if they already said he wasn't, that they don't think he's alive. My ass would be out there every single day searching for my kid till he was found. I wouldn't be arguing with my family members. I don't care who thought what about me. If I had nothing to do with it and I knew my conscience was clear, my ass would be on that street every day looking, knocking on doors. That's your baby, dude. You only have one of them. You know what I'm saying? There's only one Quinton and you just lost him. It's terrible.
How do you even function enough to be able to argue? I think I would just be sobbing and shaking in a corner.
I'd be taking my own life, to be honest. If I
that's what I think is a normal feeling, how you would feel. Just so desperate.
Especially if you're saying that you left the door open. So then now if it was an accident, you have to be feeling so guilty inside where I'd be on the news every day saying, help me find my kid. They're hiding in the backyard arguing, doing dope with each other. I mean, I don't know if they're doing dope. I don't want to throw it out there. Sorry. But they have past convictions of it. So my thing is, you guys are in the backyard either going through withdrawals, arguing because of withdrawals, or you're arguing because you know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, there's no impulse control here, obviously, and they're all very reactive. And we all know that reactive is a lot different than appropriately responding to somebody. They're just reactive and they can't control their impulses, especially if they're actively using. And I suspect that the mom still is.
Yeah, you know what? I can tell you guys, I'll throw it out there. I had a coke problem for 8 years. She was charged with coke. And I'm going to tell you one thing. It just doesn't end. I had to move out of my whole area. I was living in Alameda County. I don't want to make this about me, but I had to move out the area, start fresh. I'm talking, I went through hundreds of thousands of dollars on this shit. So if she doesn't have the help that you really need to get through it, they're still using it. That's one of the hardest drugs to get off right there is cocaine. And then it ends up being meth. I'm coming from one, guys, and I'm clean as hell. I've been clean for 4 years. You hit a black spot in your life and you believe all your lies. You believe everything you say, and everything you say is not truth. You being up for 4 days is delirious. So I could see anything going on in that house, especially the withdrawals. They're crazy, man. They are truly crazy. But I don't want to make this about drugs because we don't know the facts.
No, we don't know what it's about. We don't know what happened. We know Quinton's missing. We know that there is definitely a lot of oddities as far as calling off the babysitter, asking the babysitter if she's seen Quinton, but not calling the authorities until the babysitter gets there to look for Quinton. I mean, I think if it wasn't for Diana going there, I think she forced their hand to call. I really do.
And so they canceled the babysitter at 5:30 a.m. Then the babysitter got a call from the boyfriend at 9 a.m. and showed up after that. I would have to say I believe something occurred prior to that 5:30 a.m. most likely.
Oh, me too. They wanted to make sure he did not show up to get Quinton.
Absolutely.
He did not let her in the house. There's a reason they wouldn't let her come in there.
And then by 9 o'clock, they had it all cleaned up for the cops to come. I mean, that makes a lot of sense right there. A lot of sense. No one was around that house or in that house but the family from that text to 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
My ass would have been in my car. There's 3 people living there. Why wasn't 2 people searching everywhere and 1 person at the house searching the house? I mean, I'm dumbfounded, dude.
Do we know how long Billy and her husband were gone on this 3-week deal before this happened?
Does anybody know for sure? Because I just have what's been put on Facebook. I have not seen Billy say how long they had been gone. All the neighbors have said for a while, so I don't know exactly. I mean, long enough for Quinton to be in harm's way, that's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was supposed to be, my understanding, for 3 weeks. That was my understanding. Carolina Girl says that Danny left at 6 a.m. Okay, 6 a.m., but for some reason, he came back because he was there at 9 when he told Diana he didn't want her coming in the house helping to find Quinton. So
she probably called him. His girl probably called him, but I don't think. I think that was all a cover up to cover it up. Him going to work, showing up, and then saying, "Oh, I got to leave. I just got a phone call. My kid's missing." That sounds like a cover up. He left at 6. He had to be at work at 6. The kid, they texted at 5:30 saying the kid was missing, or not missing. They texted and said you don't have to come. But to me, that sells a sign he was missing already. And then at 9 o'clock, they reported him missing because he was missing at 6. Exact time the boyfriend went to work, supposedly work.
He never reported to work. How do we not know that he was hiding Quinton?
That's what I'm saying. He could have went and hid Quinton, could have went to work, and then she called him, and he reported it to work, saying, "Oh, my girlfriend just called me. The baby's missing. I got to go." Do you get what I'm saying? It gives him an alibi, 100%. That makes sense to me. It's an alibi for him to say, "Oh, I went to work. Go ask my boss." But on the way to work, what'd you do? Do you get what I'm saying? You left at 6. The kid you canceled the babysitter at 5:30. There's a timeline right there. That makes me think the baby wasn't there at 5:30 or was.
Oh, I think the baby was there at 5:30. I think the baby was there at 5, 4. I think something went down overnight. They have a habit of not sleeping for a while, from what I'm understanding. They both seem to have a chronic case of insomnia.
Wow.
And which I have a feeling is the reason that they said keep the babies at your house at all times.
I used to have one of those too.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you don't now, my friend. We need you around here. You're too important for these cases, UFC.
Oh no, I was losing it. I'll tell you guys, man. It's the truth though. You stay up. You do anything and everything you can until it goes away. And I'll tell you one thing: if that baby was crying and they were on one the 3rd or 4th day in, they're not going to handle their reactions. They're not going to be able to handle their actions. They're going to freak out. And that's part of the drug. You start seeing things, even if it's coke. It's not just meth, guys. Certain drugs, you start seeing things 3rd and 4th day in, start hearing things.
Yeah, and the lack of sleep contributes to that also while they're on those drugs. So they do have hallucinations.
And there was an infant, there's Quinton, and then there's an older child who is 3 or 4.
Yes, Zane. And
so he can talk somewhat, I would guess.
And that's what I'm wondering is going to, and I don't want to use the word question, but
right.
Children in the house, they have special counselors, special psychiatrists, forensic is what they call them, forensic child psychiatrists that will talk to a child at any age, believe it or not. I mean, they don't bring a newborn baby and say, "Talk to me. I'm going to teach you sign language or anything." But you know what I mean? And he speaks. Zane speaks. Zane can point, Zane can, he can communicate something. It's happened in many cases.
I'm curious if Zane told the babysitter anything. And maybe that's why Billy went over there irate. Afraid that maybe Zane repeated something to her while she had taken him back to the house.
I think it is such a culmination of things.
Yeah. Who even knows, right? Yeah.
I mean, who says they're not sitting there with Zane at the house right now and manipulating them and saying to say things when they do come and you know what I'm saying? And he remembers he says, and he doesn't say Mommy said, he goes, Daddy did it. Daddy did. I mean, you don't know. And that's the thing about these sick-minded people. They'll do anything and everything to get their high and to get out of trouble. And that's scary, man. That is truly scary. And I was one of them. So
I think Zane was asleep, heard nothing, saw nothing, or Leilani and Danny wouldn't have let Diana take Zane.
I agree with you. That's a good point.
Because we had Jaden on the show on Friday. Jaden said for them to stay up and do their drugs or whatever else Leilani had going on. He wasn't talking about Danny. He didn't know Danny. He said it was common for them, not children's Tylenol. They would give Quinton NyQuil and Zane. Because I asked several times, I said, you're talking about NyQuil.
Damn, not even the kids. What's it called? The thing that puts you. I forgot what it's called.
Like Tylenol, like children's Tylenol. They're
the
actually
sleep pill.
doing
They got sleep
adult.
pills. What are those called? What are those called? Not the trazodones, but the kid versions of them. They sell them at the stores. That puts melatonin.
Melatonin.
Yeah, but NyQuil, are you serious? Like that's the drugs, because you can't focus when you're on coke or meth or any upper. You can't focus, guys. You start getting jittery and everything freaks you out. You get scared looking out the windows, and that kid keeps screaming. It's gonna scare you. So I could see them giving them too much, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You think you would stop having children if you're dealing with this dramatic drug problem over the last couple of years? Maybe that wasn't the best choice. Just not trying to judge, but just saying. This whole situation is just chaotic from start to finish. You know, you're responsible for who you bring into this world. And
yep. I agree 199%, man. 199%.
You know, and you think you'd want to get clean and do the hardest you could do to be the best for your children. That's
especially the years that count, the first 5 years of the biggest years of their lives.
100%. Yeah.
And they remember those. And when you go back and these kids have PTSD and they have bipolarness, it doesn't come when they're born usually. Usually it comes from them living in those experiencing that as child. I mean, I'm not a mental health guy or nothing, but what I've learned in my case is that a lot of the times the bipolarness and angriness comes from your household growing up as a kid, as a baby. And
yeah, they do say that by the time you're 5 years old, that your personality is developed at that point.
Yep, 110%.
Well, guys, I hate to leave good company and I hate to shut down such a very awesome panel, but I have to get ready for the press conference. So everybody, please hit your reminder. If for sure there's a press conference, I'm going to be really upset if there's not. We're going to be back here in about an hour and 10 minutes. Okay. Are y'all going to be back? Everybody?
Absolutely.
100%. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave this chat. Hit that like button. It takes 1 second and it helps crimes out. I appreciate you having us, Brooks. Thanks, Kimberly.
Yes.
Thanks, Angel.
Yes. Have a good day, guys. Angel, Brooks.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.
All right. Awesome show indeed. We got through a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot more coming our way. Got a press conference coming up. Man, I hope I can find it, because you know how it is with those press conferences. I swear, you never know if they got it on their YouTube, if it's going to be on their Facebook, if it's going to be on their website. So I've got to find the press conference in the meantime. If anybody knows who's airing the press conference, that would be so helpful. That would be so helpful. Me love you long time. If you can help me find that damn press conference, because it happens to me every time. Or they switch it up and they'll say, oh, it's on our sister station. And I'm like, oh, now we got to find the sister station. So I'm going to go hunt down this press conference. And I will be back here at 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, which is Georgia time. So anyway, thanks for being here. Awesome live, awesome people, awesome mods. Had a lot of new people in here today. We agree to disagree. We really don't have anything to argue about, because we are on the side of the victim here. We are on the side of the victim. Hit the button, and thank you for being part of the best community and best chat on YouTube. I will see you back here in a little bit, my friends. Ta-ta for now.